What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of Kart Talk, and I am joined by a number of my good friends for probably the most unique episode in Kart Talk history. We'll start with the man who helped launch it all, Sammy D. Welcome, man. Welcome back.
Hello, welcome to you all as well.
Yeah, and we couldn't have a topic discussing seems to be probably the biggest update in Mario Kart Tour history without getting some other content creators involved again. So FrenzyFans, thank you again for joining us as a Super Stud member. We're glad to have you. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
All right, it's going to be good. And then we also have Kevin Garrett, aka KG. Welcome back, man, for a second time.
Thank you. I'm always looking forward to continuing our conversation. I'm a free-to-play player, so I'm on the opposite spectrum as Studfit, but we often agree on things. And I also do the data-driven approach, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, be sure to follow FrenzyFans and also Kevin Garrett on that. We have links to both of those in the description, as well as also Sammy D. You're probably already following Sammy, but both Kevin and FrenzyFans are rising stars in the Mario Kart Tour community. It's exciting to see what happens this upcoming year. We also have two of my good friends, Anke, who's been here before. Welcome again.
Thank you for having me back.
Now, were you on the same episode as Kevin, by the way, on the first time around?
No, I think I was like the next one.
I was with her once.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, you have the Kong royalty now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Kong super fans with us. Good. And then we have KnightRoso, another one of our super studs. Welcome back, man. So good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I'm excited.
Nice. You're gonna need that mug. I think you're the latest time zone for you, so you might need some coffee there. And then finally, we got a drum roll. We have a final guest. You may or may not know him. I would hope that you do.
A mystery.
Well, the mystery guest, please stand up.
Tabor.
Hey, Tabor. It has been 5 months, and Tabor is rejoining us for this episode with such an awesome update that we have. We have so much to get into. But welcome, Tabor. How have you been over the last 5 months?
Good. It's been I missed it. I missed you guys, but it's been a good choice for me to be able to kind of step away a little bit and spend time at home and do different things. But I was, with a huge update that's getting ready to fall, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to kind of jump back in, chime in, listen to you guys on your speculations and on your observations and the different things and see what I can contribute as well. So glad to be here. Really excited.
Awesome, man. Yes, the calm before the storm. You're about to get busy here soon.
Yeah.
Huge thoughts and prayers to all the data experts, all my friends that whether it's Antelab or Pam and Gerbs and everyone who does spreadsheets. So thank you, Tabor, in advance for the hard work. I know.
I was just thinking, like, on the drive over, that we need like a NASA headquarters type of building to get all those guys, everyone, all the data miners all in, and they bunker down for 2 weeks. And we document it. It's like, and Antelev's got his bat cave, Tabor's got Tabor's office, and everyone's crunching the numbers and getting it done.
Yeah, we also need to do some like mental health awareness and just like give you guys some space and let you guys take your time, because it's gonna be kind of grueling. Sure. My expectations. Well, good. Awesome. So everyone is introduced. We have an icebreaker, and then we'll dive into all the news that we saw this past week. We thought level 8 was massive. We were just seeing the tip of the iceberg. So the icebreaker for today is, if somebody made a bet with you that if in real life you had to wear one of the new Mii suits every day for 1 year in exchange for $1 million, would you do it? Why or why not? And then if your answer was yes, which suit would you wear and why? I actually will let Anke answer this one, because I have a sneaking suspicion which suit you'd like to wear. But would you do it?
Well, the answer is no, I wouldn't. So I won't have to choose a suit. No,
Nice.
no. A helmet and a suit all day. Imagine it in summer for $1 million. No.
It's just 1 year though.
Just 1 year, but day and night, summer, no. No. I will
$1 million
die.
is a lot of rubies.
But okay, if I would, then yes, I would pick the Donkey Kong suit, of course.
Wow. Now, some people have been trashing on the DK suit already, so I'm surprised.
I don't like it. I don't like the Mii concept, but we'll get to
Right,
that.
we'll get to it. Yes,
Just a giant tie. All right,
but your allegiance is there nonetheless.
that's good.
Exactly.
Good. We'll go from one Kong fan to another. KG, would you take this bet?
Absolutely. For $1 million? Why wouldn't I take it?
He could spend it all on Mario Kart Tour.
You're
Go to
play
pay to
who?
win.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So would you go with the DK suit, or are you with
No,
Anke?
I'm not actually a huge fan of the DK suit. I mean, I like that it's there. I like that he's being represented in the game. But honestly, I think it looks like an abomination. I would probably just go with the standard suit because I think that one looks the best. It's, you know, the least flamboyant.
Flamboyant. I like it. Well, I'm actually really excited to have KnightRoso on because he is a Mii expert. He grew up with playing the Wii, and a lot of the Wii tracks with Mario Kart Tour. But would you take this bet?
I don't think I would because I'm still in high school and I don't really care about my appearance too much, but I would like to go to school for a year in wearing the same thing every day.
But how many high schoolers have $1 million?
Exactly, you'd be the
could
talk
just
of the
quit-
town.
You can just quit
You-
school and use
you
the
can-
money and put it in whatever, and you can live
Drive
on
on
that.
campus with a sweet car.
Yeah, no, I have to. I like my job too. I'd have to quit that. But
College
but
education done.
if I had to pick one, I might pick the
They
Rosalina
would
one.
probably fire you
Rosalina?
for wearing a suit.
Yeah, Rosalina is one of my favorites. I'd probably pick her, or maybe just like the golden one, Mountain Shiny.
Nice.
I like it. What about the shirt? Would you wear that shirt every day? The one you're
Oh,
wearing?
this one?
Yeah.
Sure.
For
Not
$1
that I'm
million?
gonna make that bet with you or anything. But Tabor, what do you think, man? Would you take that bet?
I mean, I'd do it for 10% of that, let alone $1 million, but whatever. Yeah, probably. I think I'd make that work. I mean, as long as, you know, I can take it off when I shower and go to bed and all that
That's
stuff.
the question. That's the question. Go to bed.
That's the
It's borderline. Shower,
That's the
maybe.
make or break.
I'm supposed to shower with it on.
That's what we don't know.
That's the
The
bet.
silly. Who came up with this silly question? Anyways, what are the
Well,
rules?
Listen,
what are the
who
rules?
came up with this question? We need to.
Well, I mean,
harass
I
them a little
did.
bit.
I think that taking a
Oh.
shower is completely appropriate.
Bathroom and shower, but you have to sleep in it.
You sleep with the helmet?
You have to sleep with a helmet?
Yeah, this is falling apart real fast.
Tabor, if you had to though, which suit would you wear?
I would probably wear the Luigi suit because I'm tall and skinny like he is. So why not? Green's good. Green looks good with my eyes. I'll go with that.
I thought pink was your favorite color.
I thought blue.
Well, there's
Lot
no
of
blue
blue.
suit. Is there a blue suit?
The Toad one, isn't it?
Mario one.
Mario.
Well, this gets into actual discussion, but there in the other games which they've used Mii suits, there are generic suits just like the red one for every color. So I hate to say, but eventually we could have multiple standard color suits. So you could go standard blue,
Of course.
but that's not
Okay.
one of these yet.
Right. I'm already wearing blue, so sure, pay me $1 million. I'm ready.
Sammy, what do you think, man?
I'd probably do it. There's a lot of good things you can do with $1 million, you know. And with the summer thing, I was like, well, I could travel the world, and in the summer I could go to all the cold countries that I've always wanted to go to.
Wait,
And this is
wait, do you
basically-
get the money up front?
I don't know. I don't even care if I get the money up front. I get installments, whatever. But you have basically a helmet and suit, so you could ride a motorcycle across like Iceland and Sweden, everywhere you've always wanted to go, and take a trip,
Alright.
and then make money while you're doing it. And I would go. I have this feeling about the bronze, the boomerang suit. I mean, obviously we love boomerang. We all know what's involved, what's at stake, what's at risk when you're a boomboxer, the life you lead, you
High
know,
risk,
and
high reward.
it's fallen short in some situations with Vacation Luigi or whatever. Who knows when this could be a boombox driver for you? I want the suit. I like how it looks. Of course, we all want the gold, but I really got my eye on this bronze one, so I would take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this. That $1 million, I will wear that suit, no problem. But if you told me that I had to wear all my badges for a year, nope, I wouldn't take it.
All your
I don't want
actual badges.
I don't want the badges. I don't care about the badges. They're dumb. Anyway.
All right. FrenzyFans, guy and gal, what would you say?
Absolutely, I would do it. Similar to Sammy, I would travel a lot.
Yeah,
to
come
cool
along. Same. We
places.
can take a trip together.
Yeah, we can rent out like a cool Airbnb and run the AC constantly without fear of it, right? If it is hot.
Yep.
And I would do the Rosalina suit.
It's very
But
nice.
my hope would be that it would be like water repellent. So like it didn't get stained because that white color, that would be difficult.
Oh, I see.
Ooh.
But like
Good
if it's
point.
like, but you know, if it's like one of the like a real like race car
No,
suit,
it's water resistant.
yeah, you
yeah.
can just like wipe stuff
Oh,
off of it. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, definitely.
Or you could just not get it dirty.
Well, if you're traveling
For
the
a
world,
year,
Yeah.
every day for a
We
year,
get a really, really
it's gonna
big
get
day.
dirty.
you cannot send me to Italy and tell me not to get spaghetti sauce on it. Like no,
Exactly.
there's
Fair
gonna be
Fair
gonna be
enough.
food on it.
Fair enough. Okay. I just couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I think I would probably choose the Lucky 7 suit. Just because it doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra luck for a year, right?
Well,
It's
I
very
don't know.
analytical.
I
I
don't
like
know.
that.
I'm really
a
not
good one.
one big for fashion. Like honestly, I have like a set like amount of shirts for work that I just like rotate through every week. And then when I come home, it's just t-shirts and
You'd be thrilled. You'd be like,
Yeah,
sweet,
it's-
there's 10 less choices.
yeah,
No.
fashion is like if someone would tell me to wear something for $1 million, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's just wearing something different, whatever.
Be a great conversation starter too.
Yeah.
Yeah, would definitely would. All right, well, we got a lot to get to. I think we'll start with talking about Mii's. And I thought before we got into the strategy and even a hint of data mining, that might be good for us to actually hear from KnightRoso a little bit about the history of Mii's and what all do we know about the past. I will say this happened during my gap of not really playing a lot of video games, just, post-college, young adult life. I didn't really play a lot of video games. So I missed it entirely. I don't even think I have a Mii. I'm going to have to set one up. Sammy, you already did a good rendering. I appreciate that. But KnightRoso, tell us a little bit about the history of Mii.
All right, so following the Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo released a home console called the Wii in late November 2006. This is one of Nintendo's most successful consoles. Over 100 million units, brought thousands and thousands of people into the gaming world. And on the Wii, you could create your own little avatars called Mii's. You start with a basic Mii, then you can alter the facial shape, skin color, eye, nose, mouth, like positioning and types, how tall they are, how thick or thin they are, and etc. And then you can use those Mii's in different games on the Wii, like Wii Sports or Wii Fit. And you can also, in the Mario Kart for the Wii, Mario Kart Wii, you could also use your Mii as racers. So that was the first game that appeared in. And then the next console, the Nintendo 3DS, also had Mii's, you could also race as them. And then the next one, the Wii U, everyone's favorite console, released in late 2012, and it had Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8, you could also race as your Mii, but that was when the racing suits were introduced. Nintendo, around that time, released figurines called Amiibo.
Yep.
And you could scan them in-game for some rewards. So if you scanned a Mario Amiibo into Mario Kart 8, you would get the Mario racing suit for your Mii. Make sense? And they were just completely aesthetic. Some of them looked pretty cool though. So yeah, and then a few years later, they ported Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U to the Switch and added some content called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And those also had Mii's and the Mii suits. So that's the history.
Nice, man. Well, good. Thank you for that history. We'll get into the discussion about the Mii's. Well, first off, what do we know? What do we know about this tour? I think there's been a lot of speculation. Most of the conversation will put a big asterisk around everything we're about to say. Is that we are reading between a lot of tea leaves. We'll try to note when we think things are facts. And then we will have a lot of discussion around our opinions, around speculation. And there's a lot going around. We don't know exactly what's going on with all of the suits. Kind of open it up. What are your thoughts initially with the reveal of the Miis? Are you excited about the Miis? What are you not looking forward to? What do we even know? Does anyone want to take a first stab at it?
I'll take a stab just because I was going to reply to KnightRoso with the history stuff. It's really interesting. If you're a Nintendo fan, I've been following all the games and what they've done. The Miis have like come in and out. There are, there's the iconic Wii era, you have your Miis from Wii Sports, like he was saying, but they also appear in other games. Like they're in the background of Coconut Mall driving the little cars. There's a lot going on right now with some synergy with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart Tour, and everyone's trying to figure out what's going on here. It's kind of odd that they came right now, like the Wii Sports sequel that was just announced. The Miis, it's like kind of controversial that they're not even really using the Miis like they did before. And they have a history of Nintendo with like starting stuff with Miis and then not following through with them, like this great app called Mii Tomo. I don't know if you play that. And there's Mii Tomo, which was like it was this like experimental social network app with Miis. It was so cool, but there was like nothing to it. It was very like zen. And then Miitopia, they released. Anyway, this is interesting because of this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe timeline, Mario Kart Tour timeline thing. I thought that when the Miis would come, it would be tied into the Coconut Mall thing because they're in Coconut Mall. Turns out we're not even getting one of the DLC tracks, Coconut Mall or Shroom Ridge. We're getting Mushroom Gorge from Mario Kart Wii, which no one saw coming. And there's so much going on in this tour that a brand new track is literally the last thing anyone is talking about. And when have we ever had this before? I mean, if Mushroom Gorge came last summer or fall, it would be the biggest talking point. And now it's like at the bottom of the list. But it is tied into that Wii nostalgia. I think Nintendo I really do think they are trying to bring people into this game. The Wii nostalgia is so big. When Maple Treeway hit, I mean, KnightRoso can tell you, for him, Mario Kart Wii is like 64 and GameCube was for us, and it's that nostalgic. And so I've already seen on Twitter Mario Kart 8 people, the people who don't play Tour and are all like, kind of in a hissy fit about all this. Like they're like jealous about Mii's being in Mario Kart Tour. So they're trying to bridge the gap, but it is this weird thing where we're getting all these new tracks. We're getting not knowing how it's going to work. The fact that there are 10 suits, everyone's trying to figure out, are they high-end drivers? Are we pulling for them? Are they really releasing 10 drivers essentially next tour, plus 2 more the next, and who knows how many? How's that going to change the game? And when you think of them as just like reskins, essentially, of a Mii who's not even a Mario character, when there's so many original characters still to come, it does feel like, oh my God, I said, like, is this the new Hanafudas, but on like the center stage level? And are we going to have to collect them all? Are we going to have tons of filler tours with Mii suits over the next year or two? There's reasons to be worried about it, but there's also the reason to be excited from a nostalgic point of view and bringing more people in. So there's a lot to it.
Yeah, I don't think, to speak on the point of the Mario Kart 8 fans, I don't think that they should be disappointed that we're getting Mushroom Gorge, because if anything, that's just forecasting what they're going to get in the future wave.
Exactly. And it gives them Coconut Mall and Shroom Ridge. I thought we would get one of them, but now actually the 8 players are getting 2 new tracks before we are, which is awesome. There should be a synergy, and it should be going back and forth in a fun, exciting way.
Yeah, you mentioned pulling. Does anyone think that we're going to be pulling for these suits and we'll have to level them up just like everything else? Or how do you think we'll get these suits?
Well, it's pretty clear that we will have levels for them because they have the same card icon that a driver would have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a combination of what the current game is. You're going to have some that are in packs. You're going to have some that are probably going to be in pipes. You're going to have some that are going to be free with tokens or maybe like a gold pass gift.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be kind of spread around. And if you want to be able to get all of them, then you have to kind of have your hand and be a little bit of an expert in all the different areas. Maybe even some that'll be like a multiplayer gift. And once you get certain challenges, a challenge card gift, who knows? But I guarantee that it's going to be there'll be some paid walled ones that'll be a little bit more valuable than others. And then obviously we're getting the red one for free, it looks like, when we log in. And then they talked about when you use the suit, you have tokens that are available that you can pick up, and then you'll be able to get the Toad one in the shop, whatever that is, whether it's a Mii shop or whether it's a regular token shop or whatever. But I think they'll just be kind of everywhere, a little bit of every part of the game.
Yep. And it reminds you of the B Dasher pipe, the Mark II pipe too, because, or the release, because there is a chance they could release multiples that are not spotlights. I mean, just to go right to like the worst possible scenario, there could be non-spotlights for the gold, and you never know. And it could be we're trying to pull like the B Dashers, trying to get them. It did say they will all appear in this tour, so it's really odd that they're all coming out at the same time. You know, usually they'll just like drip these to us slowly, you know, different reskins and recolors. But they're all coming in some shape or form. I think Tabor's probably right on the money there, you know, with how they'll come in different ways.
I know our special pipe is probably going to be the Mario pipe,
Right.
looking at that preview because of Mario Day and everything.
Right.
But I'm kind of wondering if down the line there's going to be another special pipe, or maybe even two special pipes in a certain tour where one is completely devoted to the Mii suits. So I don't know. We'll just all speculative, but
It is
a lot of different things that it could be.
And what about next tour too? We're getting Wave 2. We're getting, I think, maybe like a Daisy and a King Boo. That's what I was thinking.
Or King Bob-omb, maybe, yeah. But
I think it's King Bob-omb.
Are those going to be a pipe, a pack, or?
And are there only 2 in Wave 2? That's odd for there to be 10 and then 2. We have to acknowledge we obviously don't know until it happens. B, they're clearly shaking some things up and just taking Mario Kart Tour, the box that is this game, and just tumbling upside down. Daily selects is probably going to be completely indistinguishable from how we knew before, which we'll talk about. But they could do multiple special pipes. They could do ways that we haven't even thought of to get drivers, you know. But I think the gold is going to be obviously hard, or it'll be gold pass gift.
Yeah.
What are the chances they come out with like a blue pipe and it's
Could always be the blue pipe. Could always be the blue pipe.
and you get the suits?
Could always be the blue pipe. It could.
Didn't data miners say that was out of the game now?
It's out of the game, but remember when the Super Leaf was out of the game and then Tanuki Mario came, so different things come in and out. Even the data miners are confused why things disappear and then reappear. There's things that are still not out in the game that have been in since day one, and the files, it's just, you don't really know. But in the new data mining, there is a lot, and the data miners have not even begun to unpack the depths of this update. It was so big. I don't know if you remember when you downloaded it, how big the update was, but something about pipes are now officially available, accessible to be an item in a shop. There's something they found there where the idea of a pipe being in the shop has become possible through how they're structuring things in the update. So there's always that
like a blue pipe, and you can put like that strictly Mii suits, and then you can buy like a blue pipe in the shop that gives you a pull.
There's so many ways it could go, you know.
What else do we know from about Mii's in the data mining? Again, we're gonna
all
names not disclosed, but what
there's some interesting things. I'll let Kevin talk about lead us into the data portion with numbers on one of this, but in terms of how they could appear, there is something about a Mii shop that the data miners have found. Now, I don't know if that's going to launch with this. It would be weird for them not to say that in that list, but you know, there might be things in this update they're still not telling us. So it could appear with the launch like a special Mii shop, or that could be something that comes down the line, you know, not necessarily right now, to give us a second chance at Mii's that we missed the first time around. It also says in the data mining a text line about the first time a Mii suit is available, it will be priced the cheapest. It will cost less. It was some terminology Kevin might have in from about how much it costs, and it will be cheapest the first time, and then and then there's also an item about I have to look through all. There's so much text that poured through.
The big thing that I clued in on is that from the data mining, they said that each suit that becomes a part of your inventory increases the base point potential of that Mii driver by plus 10 points. So it's almost an aggressive tactic to force players to collect them all to juice up more power from your driver. And what that will do is that will increase the base point potential beyond the triple capping threshold, which right now is 1400.
Maybe that's capping though. I hear you that that's the worst case scenario, but that might be cut off by caps, which is weird because if it's cut off by caps and you get 10 base points, the more Mii's you get on each one, 10 base points is actually not that many base points. You know, So I don't know why it's only 10. That's not much of an incentive, right, KG? Because we throw level, point tickets,
Well,
and we.
It's
Yeah,
10
so-
per, right?
What's
I
that?
I did a recent breakdown on level 8 with how the bonus points boost operates, so that now with a level 8 1400 base point driver, which is a triple capping, your bonus points boost per action will be 98, which it was previously 84. So the way how this works is it's approximately 1% of the item's base points that you start the race with. So if it's 1400, it's going to be 14. And what the multiplier does is now that it's times 7 for level 8, it's 14 times 7. That's how we get to 98. And that applies to all of the other base point thresholds. It's universal, that system. So that's where you find the chart. And that explains how the chart is created. So for example, 975 is the base points capping for a super that's triple capped. And with level 8 now, it will receive 68.25 bonus points per action. So what the implications are now, if the Mii can go beyond that, like let's just say if it will get plus 10 all the way up to having 10 additional Mii suits. So let's say 1500, that would be 15 times 7, which would be 105 then. Essentially, like if you have the coin box Mii, the gold Mii,
Right.
that they advertised in the teaser, then that would have the greatest points potential of any racer in the game.
I still find it would seem weird that it would go beyond the capping to me, but that would be so crazy.
Well,
it seems like the cap should be the cap. It doesn't say anything about it will also uncap it beyond the normal cap.
Well, I mean, alternatively though, like if it didn't go beyond the cap, what kind of incentive would Nintendo
Exactly,
be
that's what I'm
placing on
saying.
us?
It's exactly
Right.
what I'm saying. It doesn't
Wait.
make sense either way.
What if the Mii just starts at 1,000 base points? You cannot use cap tickets on it. All
It
you
has
can
its
do is
own-
increase. It has its own little thing,
It might. That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
because then you have like 40 suits, then it's at 1400. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
The text line says, "quote All your Mii Racing suits get 10 extra base points when you get a new Mii Racing suit type." So that's the line. They will apply to all of them. But yeah, I don't. Otherwise, you start at 800. So okay, you get boosted to 810 base points. Who cares? You're already gonna. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. It reminds me of
It's interesting.
if it does go beyond the cap, though, that will be game changing. It reminds me of in Monopoly when the more railroads you collect, you
Oh
get.
yes, I always went for the railroads.
Yeah.
You have to win.
Yeah.
So, and then there's another text thread, by the way, before I forget, that does say Mii Racing suits may appear again in future pipes. Now, that
Okay.
doesn't mean it's appearing in a pipe yet again, but it may appear in future pipes. So
Well,
there
that
will be
also
ways
means
to
that-
pull them eventually.
Well, just by reading that, it shows us that at least one of these suits are going to be in a pipe.
I assume so. Yeah. I mean, also the loading screen, they've never not shown the spotlights in the main asset image of the tour. Now, again, they could break that precedent. They have broken every precedent they've set.
Absolutely everyone now. Yeah.
So it could not be that. I still think like the core 5 Mario. So you take out the red and the toad, then you got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Rosa, and DK. Those 5 could be in a pipe. And then the unique silver, gold, and bronze could be accessed through a pack or one of these other ways.
Yeah, because
But-
it wouldn't make sense to do the 10 and then 5 in one pipe and 5 in another, because then
Yeah.
one pipe will have like the silver and the bronze and the other one will have the
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
I don't think people will be happy with that,
No.
but I don't know.
And then are these drivers even going to get, what kind of buffs are they going to get? Are they going to get all overlap
is
buffs?
the coin box suit only gonna get other coin box tracks, so we don't need it?
Exactly.
I mean, they focus a lot on new players. I think if a new player would get all the suits, they will
Yeah.
be set for the
And
next
it might
year.
be. It might be for them.
And
Like
for us, like older players, we have pretty much every track covered or semi-covered, or okay, not all version like free-to-play
Yeah.
players, okay, but
totally.
I think they really focus on new players a lot. So we shouldn't expect those characters to have a heavy impact on. The only thing that's exciting is another giant banana high end. I mean,
It's exciting. Yeah.
pretty-
No, the crazy thing about it is it could go either way. It could be really game changing and all these become the most valuable drivers in the game, or they could be the most insignificant, and be
Kind of
just
put
the
us.
equivalent of, yeah.
Well, I think if they do apply proper game balance, it will be somewhere in between, right?
Right.
I think from a scoring potential, they will be the greatest, but I think what they'll do is they'll curtail the track coverage, which, I mean, Tabor can speak to this in terms of the value of the MK2s and the value of the Hanafudos relative to the other karts and glider items that are out there. And I do think that there will be an effect of that in place for these Mii suits.
Well, just look at our current Coinbox drivers right now. I mean, they're arguably the best drivers in the game because they have the potential for the biggest loadout, but they're only buffed only to a certain point. If you look at a lot of the other non-strong skill drivers, those go up beyond 30, up in the 31s, 32s, even higher. And whereas the Coinbox is kind of like, you know, in the mid 20s, if they're lucky, they're kind of capped a little bit because they don't want to just boost them too much. So I could see the same thing happening with these Mii suits if they end up becoming as strong as some people are predicting them to be.
Isn't DK Junior at like 36 tracks or somewhere around there?
Yeah,
It's high.
they
I don't know
actually
what it
haven't
is.
applied much balancing to some of the premium skills that, because obviously we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but they're changing the bonus points for special skills. And they left out a number of them, the top 5 being Coinbox, Boomerang, Lucky 7, Giant Banana, and Triple Banana. So, and we see among the population of drivers receiving these buffs, the aforementioned DK Junior, but also Yoshi Kangaroo has been destroying so many niches along its path to obtaining incredible value. It's right up there with DK Junior.
Yeah, no, to circle back to thinking about things in like the Mark II pipe, you know, hypothetically, if you took all those Mark IIs to level 7, maybe you'd be fine and you'd be able to get a lot of good coverage, but you know, that's you know, that's dozens of tickets you'd have to be you'd have to use or pull, and that just seems like not really plausible. And so to your point earlier, Sammy, is like, you know, if these are all released at the same tour and also level 8 at the same time, it just seems too overwhelming to use that as the meta. But if these new players are joining in, it would be kind of interesting to see if Nintendo gives them kind of a, you know, a backdoor to getting some quick coverage and being able to kind of catch up in some unique way. We don't know exactly for sure, but thoughts on that?
There's no catching up with level 300 coming.
Right.
If someone starts right now at level 1, they're 2 years behind then. Like they couldn't even see enough tracks to catch up in that way. So
Yeah, I just started a free-to-play account like a week and a half ago. Like there's no way I'm gonna reach 300 within like, it's gonna take like years for me to get even probably like 200.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a year before we reach 300. I don't think there's enough tracks in the game right now to get to 300.
Which is good.
It's fine. Yeah, it needs to be like that.
We should talk more about 300, but before we completely leave the Mii's, just to say, even though I also played all the Wii era, I'm a Wii fan. The Mii's are a cool idea. You know, if you had to ask me, would I like for 10 Mii suits to come to market or not, I would say no. I mean, I'm scared about, with all these new tracks, we're going to be, if they are getting top shelves on new tracks, am I just going to be like always racing with a Mii suit over the next year, or at least half the time? That's not the experience I want. There's so many original Mario characters even we could use. And even from the back, they're all just people with helmets. You're not even seeing your face. There's a lot of ways in which I'm kind of dreading the way in which it could infiltrate everything. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, FrenzyFans. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just say I hadn't heard from FrenzyFans guy and gal on this part of the topic yet. I'd love to hear what your thoughts were.
Yeah, so we just want to kind of get everyone's opinions. I'm gonna shoot another unpopular opinion thing.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Come on.
Surprise.
Oh no.
So yeah, like I hear everyone's projections and comments and stuff, and I don't know. I don't even know where to start. So the thing is it's absolutely no coincidence that things in the game have been changing that are actually supposed to be kind of unbeknownst to us. So like the daily selects, and now this level 8 and all of this coinciding with the downloadable stuff on the Switch, Nintendo understands that they're anticipating that there's going to be a huge spike in interest from the console fan base.
Mhm.
And they're hoping to get a lot of them to come over to the mobile space as well, right? Now, we who've been playing the game for 2.5 years, we've been playing the game competitively through ranked and ACR, and we've all been moving up together, right?
Mhm.
And how disheartening and overwhelming and frustrating is it going to be for people, the way more people that are on the console, to come over to Mario Kart, like the mobile game, and actually have fun? Because I see so many of these videos of Mario Kart console people that have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
That
They're
they
already
hop
not.
over. So they hop over to Tour and they say, Tour really stinks. And it's because they've downloaded the game for the first time. They're playing commons, they're playing supers that are bottom shelf and middle shelf, and they don't understand the mechanic of how the points are being accumulated. They don't understand how we've been playing the game. Okay. Now Nintendo can't have their same just the way that they've been, their same model. They can't have their same model over the next 6 months, especially when they're trying to get all these people in and sustain the interest in them. So my unpopular opinion is that right now we're trying to put our understanding of the game and wrap it around some of these like leaked or like new pieces of info that have come. And just like with when level 8 was announced at the beginning of this tour, everyone thought, oh my gosh, I've been running a marathon and now I'm at the last quarter mile of the marathon and I've just been told that there are 10 miles left. Well, no, that's not the case, because they're changing the way the daily selects are, the whole structure of it. They're changing the way that we're getting tickets. It's in Nintendo's best interest to keep their player base happy.
Mhm.
They understand that there's going to be a huge mountain to overcome if the daily selects, being able to get tickets in the daily selects, if that mechanic stayed the same. And you would have a lot of people walk away from the game, right? So things are going to change. So my unpopular opinion is, due to the fact that they're introducing 10 characters in one tour, and there's this funny thing about the more suits that you get, the more base, like you get 10 base points. None of this is really like making any sense to how we currently understand the game. These Miis are not intended for the hardcore, very competitive player base that's in Mario Kart Tour right now. We're already here, we're enjoying the game, we're playing it, and that's how we're going to continue playing it. The Miis are a huge effort to try and get the console-based people to become familiar with, have something that's familiar, like they're used to the Miis, some aspect, some element that's familiar to them, and a way for them to be able to have fun with A, multiplayer, and maybe B, I'm not going to say it out loud, but battle mode.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not going to say it, but all I'm saying is that there are things that are going to come to the game that need to be structured more like how a console player plays. And that's not strategic. That's not focused on points and combos, because it's going to be too overwhelming for people that are very first coming into the game right now. Like that's not going to be the thing that that interests them. It's these Miis. These base point things might completely revamp the whole point strategy of multiplayer. Because right now, multiplayer, you never get like your top scored runs through multiplayer. Like
you don't
your
need base
ACR
points either.
runs.
You don't need base points.
Yeah.
And
So base points don't apply. Yeah.
So what if the scoring of using Miis in multiplayer, or if the multiplayer gets completely revamped, where in order, like the points that you score are, you get a base of 10 points for starting the race, and then as you like get like first place or whatever, that's like 5 more points or whatever. And so your grand total point score at the end of a multiplayer race is on the order of 50, 60, 100. It's not thousands like it is in ranked, in ACR, right?
Yeah.
So now these 10 base points on an order of a couple of dozen or 50 or 60, like that's significant. That makes me want to get a base of, if there are 10 suits, well, I want to start out the race with 100 points, because if I'm playing up against other multiplayer people in multiplayer and they're starting out at 50 or 60, like, I'm not saying this is the way it's going to be. All I'm trying to say is that there's something new. There's an entire different
new mechanic
that has to come to the game in order to be able to keep the new people intrigued. And we don't understand what it is. We're trying to wrap our current understanding around the game with this new stuff. And I don't think that that's going to be the way that it is.
Yeah, which is why we should, soon here go on to level 300 and daily selects and all the other stuff that is more our bread and butter. It could be, this is the most extreme version of like the ranked driver rewards, where they're basically insignificant to players like us, but they give new players, free to play players, something to use. They really should be exclusive to multiplayer or some other mode. That would make more sense to me. The Mii suits. Now,
I don't think Mii's are going to get tracks.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're going to be buff tracks, because
that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Brand new drivers. What is the overlap? The overlap is going to be great. Nightmare.
It's like
I would love
the
that.
MK2s.
I have a response to your theory, which I love. I've agreed with all your unpopular opinions, by the way. They're not that unpopular. There's always people that have different perspectives, and I agree with a lot of that. The unnamed data miner quote from them was, battle mode may be here sooner than we are all expecting, just like level 8. There is tons of battle mode coding that just got dumped in this new update about matching, about balloons, about items, about the feather, about all kinds of things. My dream scenario would be battle mode launches with this update and the Mii's are only playable in battle mode. That would be amazing. And they have scoring to it, and there's base points. It's a whole new mode. And that's why you want to collect them, if you want to get those extra rewards that come with
our
and then you get more tickets too.
Handle it.
More ticket rewards as well to help us with the level 8 thing. It would be perfect. And what do you guys think?
Why would we need skills for battle mode? Why would we need a coin box in battle mode?
Well, if scoring is part of it, you could. We don't know. Nintendo might have some crazy way. I mean,
with the whole Mii's, I'm just scared that from now on, instead of new spotlights or new drivers, characters, it's all gonna be Mii's.
Mii Tour 2, Mii Tour 3, yeah.
Like next tour, we get 2 new drivers, one in week 1 and one in week 2. And for the rest, so today DKR posted this little thing with like all the Mii suits that are here. Like you have Link, you have Pac-Man, you have whatever, Splatoon, Sonic. This is all the tours for the next year. If that's the case, I'll be disappointed. But I always prepare for the worst.
Yeah, but Mario Kart 8 had the spin-off tracks from other games. Tour hasn't done it yet.
But
it would be weird to have.
You have the Kirby suit. The new game is dropping soon. Maybe we get a Kirby tour. If Breath of the Wild 2 comes, then maybe they'll give us the Link suit. You never know.
I hope not, and I don't think so.
Well, if it's about console and mobile gaming, like merging all that, then they will.
I will also say that the players coming in, I think it's more of a tie-in rather than trying to get all the Mario Kart 8 players, because they don't want to play with 8. They want with Mii's. They want to play with Funky Kong and Kamek. Like these people are drooling over the fact that we get these drivers, and they're going to come into the game and want to do that stuff. But yeah, I mean, what the rest of you think? I mean, obviously we have to wait and see. But
KnightRoso, being such a Mii fan, what are your thoughts about playing with a Mii? And would you rather play with a Mii than Funky Kong, or how do you feel like something that reminds you of, brings that nostalgia? How do you compare that and what you'd rather, and how would you like to see it introduced to the game?
I don't know. It's a hard question because I don't know. Hold on, think first.
We can come back. Actually, FrenzyFans guy, were you done? By the way, I know you were kind of still getting out your thoughts there. Did you feel like you finished? Because I know you said I think your first comment was I don't even know how to talk about this. So did you get all your thoughts out there? We're still going down that path and still leading us.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the TLDR is, I think right now, and it's perfectly like, it's human nature to try and take new information that we have and our basic understanding of how we currently know how things operate and try and overlap them. And I'm just not going to be surprised if when the new update hits that there's this whole inrush of just completely different mechanics that are introduced into the game, whether it be the daily shop, whether it be the tier shop, whether it be tiers, whether it be ranked, whether it be ACR, whether it be, you know, how we interact in the game with coins, how we interact with each other in multiplayer. Like it's gonna be a revamp. And I think that it's unfortunate when we do jump to conclusions and kind of like make decisions based off of like our current knowledge and how we understand things to work, when we haven't really given Nintendo the chance to follow through with everything. Like wait until the update happens and play it for a week or two, and if it doesn't jive with how you have been playing the game, then yeah, I mean,
I would say play it for a couple of months, a month or two. I mean, it's going to take a long time to figure out what a lot of this does, all the point stuff. I mean, I'm anxious to hear from Tabor and KG all about the points, the bonus points. I mean, like I said, it is going to be a new game, but it also might a few days in just feel like the same old Mario Kart where, okay, I want to get that chance at a ticket. I'm getting my ass beat by a rail and ranked, and it feels like Mario Kart.
I mean, it's changing, but it's not going to change that much.
Yeah.
And from talking with a lot of new players, one of the biggest hurdles that Mario Kart Tour has to overcome is one that has existed since the very beginning of the game. We read it in the critical reviews, is actually the control scheme. A lot of players who are so used to the console Mario Kart game find it very difficult to transition to the controls. I know we've all adjusted to varying amounts, so our opinions on it might be different than these players that are first experiencing it.
It takes you got to give it a few days. This is one of my sore subjects. I can't deal with people who don't have the patience to try to learn a new game. They give up after a couple tries. There's a learning curve to every great game. Every Mario Kart game has had completely different play control. The way you play 64 and Drift, the way you play Double Dash, the way you play Wii, the way you play 7, the way you play Tour, and SNES, they're all completely different. And people I know, I've said this before, they tried Wii even in the Wii era. All my Mario Kart friends from high school, KnightRoso, when Wii came out, they hated the Wii wheel and gave up on it within a week. And it's so unfortunate to see. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. You got to give it a chance and try to cross the learning curve. It's hard. It takes several days or a week, or sometimes for people months.
It took me months.
Mario Kart Tour is a completely different game than all the other ones.
It's about scoring.
You have to finish first. That's all you have to do at any means possible. Mario Kart Tour, finishing first is not it. Like you have to get points. You have to understand the mechanics of the scoring. You have to have strategy. You have to understand so much more than just opening cups up on the console, running through it a couple of times, getting first place, unlocking other cups. Like that's what keeps us here for 2.5 years.
But to that point, like when we're talking about this new mechanism, I wouldn't surprise me if they introduced some type of mechanism that appeased the player who just wanted to sign in and play a couple ones and get first place and do all that type of stuff. Like there's going to be a mechanism for that at some point in time, I guarantee it. And on top of that, like for the people who aren't getting used to the controls or like quit before they do get used to the controls, I'm not saying that in the future, 20 years down the road, the console games won't be being released, but like we're in this whole brand new era where 5-10 years ago, smartphones weren't even like evolved enough to support a game like this, right? So if Nintendo's main objective is to have people on Nintendo platforms more and more and more, like you can't do that if you're tethered to a console. So it's just inevitable. I'd say stick with it because eventually it's going to be like everyday stuff.
What if the next console from Nintendo doesn't have any controls but on-screen controls? Like right now, the Switch, the controllers to the screen. What if the next one is just purely like fingers on screen?
Well, I mean, the Wii,
my TV.
Well, the Wii, I mean, they've always done handheld. I mean, Nintendo started with handheld. The Wii had a pad where you were drawing on it. They've always innovated, and they've said we don't want to release our next huge console until we have a game-changing idea, and they always do. But that's another topic for another day. But
before we do move on from these too much, I'd have like my thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
So I am. The Mii's do bring back a fair amount of nostalgia, because I remember I made my Mii really small, so it was a small driver, and then I would put it in the stroller cart, and that was just like really amusing to me. And I played as, you know, my brother's Mii, my parents' Mii's, my grandma's Mii, and I'm really excited to play as these Mii's in Mario Kart Tour. You're not really going to be able to see them too much unless you go into like auto mode and use the camera. But I am very excited. I would rather have Daisy Circuit, Coconut Mall, of course, but I think the Mii's are great. And I am really excited to see snapshot mode with the Mii's, people creating Mii's of like themselves, of video game characters, just like
new filters data mined also for auto mode, a whole stack of new filters.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
I don't know. We don't know when. Again, it could be in a year, but
I love
that.
So I think one of the most dangerous things about any game is players can often quit because they don't understand at all how the game works. So they are misinformed, or they don't have enough information, and they just kind of see it as they are from a outside perspective, and they try it for a while and then they just don't get into it and they leave. I would also argue that sometimes people can be over-informed, and they understand the game so well that it's not a challenge anymore. And so they don't see that enjoyment that they had at one point, where they were always kind of challenged to try to do this and do that, but they understand it so well that it's just kind of like almost a chore that they have to go log in every day. They have to get their points. They have to try to do this, they try to do that. Nothing against Sammy or any other content creator. I myself want to be over-informed. I want to see all the information that I can possibly, accept. But I think if they can change the mechanics of the game, it's going to be good for everybody, because even the people who have been with the game since launch, for 2.5 years, are going to now have some new direction to go, some new challenge, some new goal. Because right now, for people who are seasoned veterans, they're, as I've told a couple of people, their goals are to get first in ranked, try to do as well as they can in ACR, maybe try to get an item or two and get lucky with polls. And that's about it. I mean, you got challenge cards and you got this and that, but I mean, they're going to happen. You're going to clear out the token shop eventually. So it's not really something you're grinding for. But with so many different things that are opening up now, we have now new sets of challenges, new sets of goals that we're all trying to go for. But that, like, to FrenzyFans boys' point, we're trying to understand this update in the confines of what we know the game to be. We have no idea the direction the game's going to go. And so it might be completely different from what, everything we've been saying. Looking back at this video in a month from now, be like, we had no idea what we were talking about.
No idea.
And that's just
oh my
how
God,
things
absolutely. We're going to laugh at this whole conversation.
Things are. So, we just want to make sure we, tell our audience that, this is all speculative. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just trying to kind of shoot the breeze and see what happens. But I, for one, am excited about all the different changes coming up, because it helps give us almost a whole new branch of the game, and trying to even if it takes, a little while to understand it, that's exciting to me, because I don't want to know everything. I want to be able to try to figure things out. That's exciting.
Yeah. So, I think you bring up really good points, and I appreciate you saying that. I think, there is some aspect of trying to wrap around the current game. When I think of some of the people I've talked to that have mentioned over the last week or two that they're quitting. They're like, hey, I'm quitting. Level 8 just seems too much. I think these are the people that, when I think about like, why do they actually want to quit? In my mind, the reason is actually because they felt like they've kind of checked every box, right? They've done ranked 180 times. They've done all cup ranking. They've done this, they've done that. And now they're like, all right, now you're going to raise the bar and I have to do it all over again. I don't want to do something over again. There's sometimes where you're playing a game, your game gets erased and you're like, I could get back to where I was. I just don't even want to play anymore. And so like, there's that kind of thing to it. But I have seen, just from the last day, since I saw this release, of all this new stuff. And I've seen a good example would be like Lino, where he was like, now I want to play. Now I have to see it. Now I have to open it up. I was going to plan on quitting, but now this seems like such a new situation that I want to now, I want to use my skills and conquer something new and something, there's a new challenge. And so I feel like in some ways it's actually working to keep some of those players that have felt like they've checked every box and they have completed every challenge and have done ranked so many times that the blue in the face, it's not even fun anymore. Now they give them something fun. And so I think too, it's weird that it's like, at the very beginning of March, like why not do this in the anniversary or the 1.5 anniversary? But like, this is a new game. And you're right. The wraparound thing that we're trying to do, it's not going to necessarily apply, but I think that's overall good for us. I think whether you're new or old, a little switch up, as long as they keep some things the same. And I that's what's kind of scary to me is that if they do major changes to the controls or make things, major changes to the game, and disrupt things a little too much, I think that could be sad for those of us who have been sticking around for this long because we enjoy those controls, because we enjoy those things. But at the same point in time, okay, you're an auto drifter, right? Like there are some people that try unique things like that, right?
Well, unique things. Well, the thing is, yes, my settings are on auto drift, but I use the drift button.
Yes.
So I have been the first year and a half of the game, I did just auto. I didn't drift at all. And that was like a challenge. But then I noticed there was a certain cap that you could get with like auto. So I would drop the combo on like a straight part on Airship Fortress. There was no way to keep the combo there. So it's like, okay, let me just use the button on that part. And then from there, I expanded it. And now the button is all I use. But the thing you said earlier about like people, they've had all the achievements and you don't know. I was at that point where I was like, okay, I've done everything I wanted to do. And it was more like a chore, like, okay, I have to log in and like grind again because, my account is good now and I have 777s. And so the news of level 8, I was so relieved and I was happy because this is my ticket out. I'm like, I can enjoy the game again like I did the first year.
Yes. I was about to say
Completely.
that. I was about to say the same thing. I feel like I'm going to go back to my year
Yes,
one
and it
strats.
feels amazing. Like I'm so relieved, I'm excited, and I'm like, so I started doing ACR when level 7 hit, like that tour, like the Snow Frost, whatever tour that was.
No.
That's when I had my first top 100 badge, and I was like, okay, let's do it. I don't know why, but I needed that. And then like, I got my top 10 a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, achieved. But I was like, the momentum of your account is then so high that you open up the new tour, you see all your great levels and you're like, oh, I feel the I need to grind now because my account is that's what it felt like. And it was more like a chore, okay, like 2 or 3 tags a day and this and that. And it took so much time. And then, landing 14, 15 a couple of times, like, what are you doing it for? Like, I already have my badge. I should be happy. I should be able to go back to whatever. But now that level 8 comes, and I'm not going to drop a bunch of money to get to level 8. I don't care. My goal is still 7 double capped. If something goes to 8, cool. If it doesn't, I don't care. I'm just going to do ranked. I'm going to have fun. I'm just going to grind player level 300, I guess.
I was going to say you have 300 now. That's the...
Yes. So yeah, no, so I am like, I was one of the few people, I think, I posted like a long text on Studfit server as well. Like, I was happy. I don't know, everyone was mad and angry, like, oh, level 8. And I was like, but guys, it's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
KG, I know you were one of the only people that day that was like actively excited. And I want to hear more of your thoughts on all of it. And with the new point stuff as well thrown in, and maybe Tabor and you and everyone, we can talk about the bonus point stuff.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to level 8 for months, actually. I've been preparing people, warning people, whatever adjective you want to use for it. I suspected this would come, and that's through looking at different pieces of data that exist to the players, and that is revenue sales. It's you find new articles of this in the media online every few months, so you can kind of get an idea for how the game is going. Like, a lot of them say like, oh, it's made $250 million, and the fans are like, wow, that's tremendous. But then you see how much that's changed in the last 6 months, and you're like, wow, that's taken a decline, and then you cross-reference that to the amount of tokens that are collected in these team rally tours, and you say, hey, wait, 15% of the player base has gone away, and that's not even factoring in players across the board have higher levels on these things, so that you're able to generate more tokens. So that's kind of what's prompting these changes, along with what a lot of the players see here who buy the packs, and your levels are maxed out on these things that are in the packs, and they're not lucrative anymore. Suddenly, like, you have enough rubies, you're not adding levels to these items. Like, where's their revenue being generated from? So between that, I could definitely see this coming right at the time that it has. Why I'm personally excited as a free-to-play player is because I've based my entire strategy around the characters that I like. And it's been just as successful as if I were to invest into the conventional metagame top picks, right? Because as a free-to-play player, you have limited resources. So it's very keen how you allot those resources. And if you do it the right way, you can be successful, whether you're using conventional stuff or whether you're doing stuff a little bit off the grid, so to speak. And my strategy is around the DK family of characters. Of course, those are my favorite, and they haven't done much with them outside of DK Jr. So I actually reached my end game as a free-to-play player. This was like back in September, before the 2nd anniversary. I had them all level 7, triple capped. And I just, I was hoarding resources, logging in kind of like unenthused. And all my enthusiasm was coming from the community. It was the engagement, discovering things within the data, sharing that with people, seeing the appreciation, and motivating myself, pushing myself to learn more, right? For the eventuality of this moment happening. So I was so glee when I saw the news of this, because suddenly now I'm not at my end game anymore. Like, I think it was Tabor who mentioned, like, now you have to run, 10 more miles or whatever. And that's what it feels like. I have a new lease on life basically in the game. So I have nearly 100 high-end level up tickets, and over 40 of which are drivers. So I can actually instantly take all of my favorite drivers now to level 8.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I could already be at my end game, and that's through strategic, smart approach to a free-to-play account. So you can do it.
and
0.
Wow, Anke, that top 10 really hurts you.
Well, I know I took Yoshi Kangaroo to 7 because it was time. So it was
wow, 0. That's interesting to start with 0.
So
we get 10, right? We get 10 next
free-to-play
tour,
account.
10 or 30.
You can actually take that account very far, especially given that this new tour, they're going to be giving away high-end tickets through login bonuses, which are coming back. I mean,
60,000 points, so much.
Yes and no.
They will be,
yes
they will
and
be,
no.
They will be gone so quick.
No, that's only 4 tickets.
For me, it is.
Yeah, but it's 4 driver tickets.
The beautiful thing about the game is we all play it so differently. A lot of us will fall into certain categories, but there's like so many different ways to play it and enjoy it.
I think we all will reinvent the way we play. At least I will, because I have to, for like the year I've had. Like, it's been all ACR, strategy, coverage, But now I'm like, I want to triple cap Satellaview Mario because he's my favorite. He's my top 10. He's whatever. I like him. Like, why not? Why do I need to triple cap Tuxedo Mario? I don't want to. No.
Yeah, I think one of my thought processes, kind of to the analogy that Tabor was talking about, is like, I'm running this marathon and then now I hit and now I have these more miles. I see it as more like a triathlon. Like, I just got done running this race. Now hopping on a bike, now I'm swimming. Like, I think we're still, still a competition. It's still a race, but it's a different mode. It's going to have a different shift. And so to Kevin's point, his end game was here. And now the end game, just from finding out the information about level 8, he could reach that end game. Well, now with the expansion of Mii's, the expansion of this, expansion of level 300, his end game, who knows where it is? It's not straight ahead. It's at a different angle. I know we kind of jumped in there, Kevin. Did you still have more thoughts there?
Yeah, I was gonna take it in a direction probably leading into the daily selects a little bit, but looking ahead to what it will take to level up drivers, karts, and gliders to level 8. I was speculating it would be 8 high-end tickets. I know Sammy had agreed with that, and it's come out through the community that It could be based on a Fibonacci sequence, which is a function f sub n where it's equal to the last two in the sequence.
It's not come out that it could be based on someone posted it and threw the idea out there.
It's a very compelling theory.
But it doesn't repeat the two.
Yeah,
it's not even following. It's already broken the sequence.
It goes
so
1, 1, 2.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see soon enough.
It's a fun idea.
7 or 8.
Supers are 1,
Anyway,
2,
I do
3,
think it
4,
is
5, 6.
Yeah.
I hope 7. It's probably 8.
I'm more worried that the 10 free tickets means it costs 10 tickets.
It could be 10 tickets. Honestly,
Well,
I was
then-
kind of hoping that there would be like a special ticket that you had to get that was not level tickets or something, and that would take it
Wait,
from 7 to 8.
That was my idea. I told you that. I thought
You can go back and listen to. I had that idea a long time ago. With level 7, but I think I did hear it with you. Hear it again with level 8.
Yeah. I was like, what if there's just in the shop this one ticket and you only get like 1 a tour, and then you can take 1 thing to level 8, and it's the same for everyone. But that's not how they make money, and that's like they need to make money, so I get that. But also like everyone doesn't like the people who don't like level 8. You don't have to take stuff to level 8. It's not, you're not, maybe you'll have a whale in your rank up every once in a while, but you'll survive that. We have with level 7. And, if we all just don't level up stuff to level 8 and just let the whale top 10 people, whoever, let them do that, then still like 99% of the player base will maybe have like 1 or 2 level 8 items. So we don't need to make the problem bigger than it is. It's fun. The next year will be fun. Everyone, the player levels especially, like, it will be, people will be between 150 and maybe some will jump to 220, 230, but not further than that. And then, that can make a big difference as well. So there's a lot that will happen in the next months.
Take us to the daily selects idea, Kevin, that you were going to.
Well, I do want to follow up with that in that I don't personally subscribe to the whole like keeping up with the Joneses mentality. That's something that I've been, really vocal about lately, because really our entire ecosystem in the game is based solely around what we're doing. So all of the comparison to the outside that we do is through our own accord, right? I mean, that's things that we do. Like, I mean, Studfit is probably the prime example, since he does run and operate ER. I mean, that's a group of individuals highly competitive at the top of their game that are all comparing themselves to each other, right? But that's a superficial system that we're creating, right? If we look at things within the context of the game itself, especially when we talk about new players, it's like, how can new players ever catch up? Well, they're catching up easier than ever. That's the honest truth. Okay.
Right.
And we can break it down numerically to prove why that is. For example, like if we're investing into level 8, and let's just say hypothetically it costs 8 high-end tickets, that's a low ROI return on investment for those tickets. The amount of scoring that you're increasing your account's capacity to, for the amount of cost that it requires in terms of time and coins, just the raw value of that, is going to be lower than these other accounts that are quote unquote trying to catch up, because they're leveling things up to level 4 or level 6. And those are more efficient, high quality investments that they can be making. But there's a number of different ways to look at it. We can't just say, because it's a low ROI, no one should invest into level 8. Absolutely, we should invest into level 8 on a certain subset of drivers that provide us with a maximum amount of coverage, and then kind of fill in the gaps around that with those more efficient ROI investments, like to say level 6.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I had a question for you all. Are there, what are you guys going to be taking any drivers crossing gliders at straight to level 8, like as soon as next tour hits?
No, you'd have to wait to see what happens at least, right? I mean, just
well, for me, like I love my Solar Daisy. She's 7 double cap. I'm taking her to 8. I don't care.
Wow.
I'll
Okay.
probably do the Ramby runner though, but that's.
I think it's a good thing to take your favorite item, and because what's great about that, to Kevin's point, is that you can play this game however you want. That's good. But what I think is interesting is that by moving to level 8 all at once, it allows you to be able to kind of reshuffle your what is your pillar item. Does that make sense? So when we're filling out a spreadsheet, you take something to 8. Now every track that thing has at level 8 is covered, and now you can work on filling some gaps. And so it's one of the kind of also the other part about what Kevin was saying. That's one of the reasons why I did the Kart trifecta with the Vampire Flyer, the yellow off-roader, and Silver King, is because it was these were 3 newer items that a newer player that started in 2021 could invest in and take to 7, and they basically are now covered on new tracks. Now I know with Anke, you kind of started whaling a little bit late, so a lot of your coverage that you're kind of having to catch up on, you were able to really though have a great coverage on assumed tracks that came out last year.
Really different from older whales. Yeah, I don't have like Wild Blacks and Rose Queens and all that. No, I took the KnightR to 7, and like the yellow off-roader gives me a lot. My regular off-roader is level 1 or level 2 maybe. I never use it. I wish I had it, but you know, and with taking stuff to level 8, we need to take into account that these items get a new additional track.
Right.
So it so much happens, and the thing is now that they announced that we get like every week in this new tier shop slots, every week you get those tickets. That's like what, 42, 43K a week.
Right.
For us, like if we don't pull pipes and get coins, you only get 20K a tour, and you can, and that's it. And you'll have regular high ends that might pop up in your shop. So to keep up with the whale community, like the Carloses who buy every pack and do everything, buy all the tickets every tour, it at least for me, it's not possible anymore, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy. Let them go to tier 80, please. And Sammy, like you said in your video, like please only let the first person tier up, not the first 3. Please.
Well, that's why I say I'm pretty sure that in a week or 2 we're going to be like, this still feels like Mario Kart Tour, the same situation I'm in before.
Yes,
but to answer KnightRoso, I mean, thankfully my favorite driver Kamek is like an amazing contender to take. And I'm just saying I'm not going to do it on day 1. Like I want to at least see if Kamek's in my ranked cup that week, you know, a couple of other factors, and just be real conservative going forward in general. Like I'm excited to, because we needed this. Everyone needed this.
Oh yes.
We've all been doing way too many YOLOs on pipes. We don't need to even be pulling off. Except Kevin, who has 3,000 rupees.
The thing is, you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with leveling up the thing you like the most.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do something because other people are doing it. You know, what you want to do, you do. And then if it turns out great, you know, cool. But in the end, it is just a game.
Yeah. I mean, KG, are you, because knowing you, I would guess that you are not going to take your Kongs instantly, but you will do it as your next moves when you want to at some point in the future.
Well, we're getting real close to the daily selects, folks.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah. So okay, let's move a little bit closer to the daily selects here. And that the only one that I would consider maxing out right away is DK Jr. because we saw that he's in a paid pack for the Mii Tour. We know that he's still going to be exclusive in the game moving forward. Dixie Kong and Kong are a part of
the trailer.
Yeah, they're a part of the standard high-end selection that came out before January 2021. So these are going to be items that will be available in the daily selects for purchase.
Possibly.
It wouldn't make much sense to level them up prematurely. They're not going to get buffs very often, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 per year at most. And usually not a ranked version up front. Usually it's a reverse version up front. So
speaking of
going to be Junior, if he comes out with the new paywall track, perhaps I might go to level 8 in the beginning, but I mean, that's a big investment. And like you said, these moves can be made later. Part of the reason why I've been able to manicure and mold my account into something that looks a little bit like a pay to win account and I've spent 0 money on the game is just because I've used almost none of my resources, you know, through studying the mechanics and seeing what happens like with that minimalist approach. Like I'm willing to sandbag and ranked for 2 and 3 weeks in a row. I don't care because I know competitively over the long term, it's in my best interest to do so. And that's created a situation where I've been able to maintain my peak tier, but it's just a mountain of resources that just keep accumulating and accumulating end over end. And I'm ready to move that in. But the thing is, once we move those resources in, I describe it as depreciation. Like as soon as you drive that new car out of the parking lot, it loses half the value. And that applies to everything. So like for those new players out there that are wondering like, hey, can I survive and thrive in this game? Yes, you can, because the items that are going to come out tomorrow will have better value than anything that the game has seen to this point. That's how someone like Anke has been able to be her position where she's at after having started the game so late. It's because those wild blacks and the rose queens and all those items.
I did start the same like day one. I was a gold pass only player for like months, and then I bought a couple packs, and then I never went competitively ACR or strategic. I leveled up the gold train. Nothing was thought out. So yeah. But I caught up. It took me 6-7 months, but I caught up. I have full coverage on all the tracks, and I went for my top 10, and now I'm done.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the byproduct of having waited to make those moves, and more superior items became available for you to make investments. So it was more efficient for you to do it that way.
The Ramby runner for me, or like for example the whatever yellow off-roader or the wild pink or the pink wing, like Rose Queens and Wild Black and Happy Ride, that was the trifecta of year one.
Yeah.
I still don't have the Rose Queen.
I don't either. I'm the same as you on.
So it's like, it's really interesting to see. So I wouldn't say my account is stronger than like, you know, whatever, like, but in the end, it's about coverage. If you have the coverage, you have it, and it doesn't matter when you obtained it. And I might have different cards at a high level. I say like, oh, the Starry Great Sail and the Snow Crystals, those are like the best for me. And like a Studfit or like whoever will say like, what, that glider? I will never use that because I have the black toe beam balloons or whatever. So yeah, it's every account is different, and it's how you approach it. And I think there are so many tracks in the game, but if you like he said, like if you want to obtain a new item now and it all of a sudden has like this great value, and you can take it to whatever triple cap, however high, and it gives you all this coverage that we already had, but you get it with one card because it's now new. Yeah, I mean, then you're winning.
Yeah, one card or one glider can fill the coverage of 2 or 3 that existed in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So Kevin, do you think you're ever going to go for like top 1,000 and just like new packs come out and you just invest
The resources are getting burned eventually.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
I've been trying to get him to pull for the prop card.
Kevin. I had a question for Kevin. So I'm wondering, with your free to play account, do you have like top shelves for everything, or do you just wait a couple tours and then pick an item that has a couple tracks or something?
Yeah. So for example, on Sky Garden, the normal version in week 1, which I ended up tearing up that week, I had no driver and bottom shelf cart and a middle shelf glider. So it was basically a train wreck, but I still managed to tear up, and that's
because DK Jr. wasn't calamari.
Recent past performance, I was basically riding the wave at the very bottom of it, where I would sandbag for 1 week. And what happens is the matchmaking algorithm, I know that it's still very unclear, and it exists differently for folks in tier 70 than it does for the vast majority of other players in the game. But where I'm at in the mid tier 50s is if I perform poorly, in other words, like I don't even play, I'll just do 1 run for the Grand Stars to collect the tour gifts, and then I'm done for that week, basically. That low performance, they'll use that in the algorithm, and they'll pair me with people who are less formidable the following week. So I use that as part of my strategy so that I don't have to invest anything, and I can still maintain a consistent performance where I can basically alternate tiers. Like I can come in 17th place and then first place.
But now that like they also said in like the update news, like from tier 60 on, like better rewards, right? Or no, was it something else?
Yeah, that's for the
so
tier.
Is that then now like an aspiration to stay in tier 60 and above, or are you like, I'm fine with like around the 50?
I actually haven't hit tier 60 yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was a goal that I had, but I basically just kind of walked away from the competitive side of it. I think I have reasons separate from Tabor, but very similar approach in that basically we said, okay, we've been competing since day 1, grinding for maximum runs, maximum rewards, basically from day 1. And at a certain point in time, you just say, it doesn't make sense for my life anymore. You know, I have things that
Yeah.
are more important. I value my time in different ways,
Yeah.
but the community is great and I still love the game. And you want to maintain a piece of that in your life. Well, suddenly, if you're able to shift your priorities and be able to still find enjoyment in the game without playing, you know, so many hours to grind for that triple coin frenzy or the double coin
Yes.
frenzy,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, there is a pathway to proceed forward and still really enjoy this game, even with level 8. I think with all of the additions that are coming, like FrenzyFans said, you know, we don't even know the concept of how this will be executed, right? It could be beyond our imagining right now. So I think that's a good point. All of us kind of have to get out of the box thinking a little bit and, you know, just be open and really enjoy it. And I think that goes to what everybody's been saying, how this is really an exciting time to be playing Mario Kart Tour right now, because none of us know what to expect. And it's almost like day one all over for us once again.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm just excited to only grind 6 tracks per tour instead of 36.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Tabor, I know you might shift some of your strategy. How are you, I guess, planning to tackle?
Still gold pass.
Still gold pass?
Oh yeah, for
Plus,
sure.
maybe?
I'm not changing that. I'll be gold pass only on the way through. Honestly, even the last however many tours, I haven't even bought those commemorative items. I didn't end up buying Wario or Waluigi mustache. I mean, I'm sure they'll be valuable in some capacity somewhere along the line, but I just kind of was like, you know, I'm all right with that. I'm already paying $5 a month. That's good enough for me. But yeah, no change on that. In terms of strategy, I mean, honestly, I think all of our strategies are up in the air at this point until we see what this new update brings and how we can try to, you know, use our own individual personal style into all of it, just to kind of see how things work. So, I mean, our strategies right now, we think we have a strategy, and we do for the next 5 days, and then things could be completely changed. So we'll see.
I got a question for Tabor.
Tabor.
Tabor, what degree of additional bonus points for these lower skill items would we have to see for the meta to really be truly shaken up in any, or even just slightly shaken up? Like, do you think it's going to be insignificant, or could you see where they're really pushing it hard?
I do have something to add to that. I'm going to probably give that to KG. I think he has more of the better numbers on all that. But I do know that it would have to be pretty significant, just because, you know, I find it interesting that they're going to be buffing all of these items, but not obviously not the top 5 that we, you know, those premium plus items. And then also they left out hearts and they left out bubble and all that. So it was interesting to see that. But, you know, with the rankings that I put out there, which again, I'm not shameless plug, but always, and hopefully you understand I'm the first one to say this, that is always should be taken with a grain of salt. That should never be, you know, something that people always adhere to, and that's the only resource they use. There's a lot of other great resources out there. But one of the biggest criticisms that I get about the rankings spreadsheet that I come up with every tour is that, you know, they're like, what? I don't even look at Tabor's spread stuff because coin boxes are always the best. And you all should just coin boxes and then maybe Lucky 7 and maybe Giant Banana and all that. Forget about all the other ones because there's all these different drivers in there that don't have premium skills. And so they're just trash. And I'm not sure why they're up there and blah, 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 blah. So and I get it. I mean, there's definitely some valid points behind all that. But if we have no idea how these skills are going to be buffed, but depending on how they are buffed, I don't think they'll all be on a level playing field yet. I mean, not yet. I don't think they'll ever be on a level playing field. One is always going to be better than others. But it does bring a little bit more validity to some of the lower, lesser popular skills that if they do get buffed, they're going to be at least normalized in some way. And you're going to be able to see, you know, maybe some more of a bomb or more of a triple bomb or more of a triple mushroom or whatever it might be that's more valuable than what you originally thought it was. So I think all of us, audience included, we just have to have an open mind. Once we give those, as Sammy's been preaching, let's give some time to have these data miners do what they do best, let them kind of figure out what this update actually is bringing to these buffs and see what the strengths and what the weaknesses are. Because, you know, all of us are kind of thinking whenever we hear a certain skill, we automatically dismiss it because like, well, that's trash. That's an awful skill. We don't worry about that because, well, you're just hoping for a coin frenzy and that's it. But, you know, things might be changed. The meta might be changed a little bit. And we just have to kind of keep an open mind that now this skill is on par with this skill. And we never thought that was going to be, you know, ever an argument that people were going to say.
I know KG is excited about Banana Barrel because Triple Banana made the cut. So that's one of the little miniature headlines, which we figured it would after the fix. But Banana Barrels, I know KG said he thinks it's as good as Triple Bananas, given the giant banana possibility. And if that got a buff, it could be the leading low minus skill, you know?
Yeah, with regards to Banana Barrel, I was saying that before the Triple Banana buff. You know, once Triple Bananas, you know, got to its rightful place, it was far and away ahead of Banana Barrel. What I have been saying is that, okay, like, and I'm always careful with how I say this because I don't want to like malign, you know, anyone out there. But, you know, when you have a skill like Coinbox and it spits out the coins on the course, it does require skill to collect the maximum amount of coins. You know, just your average player cannot perform that to the same standard as an elite racer out there. No question about it. But when we're talking about skill required to use an item, there's a vast difference between that of Coinbox and that of Banana Barrel. Banana Barrel requires significant technical skill, using both steer and drift to make these little micro adjustments on the fly because we don't know exactly where these things are going. And I often joke, in order to use Banana Barrels, we have to think like a monkey, kind of, right? Because it kind of requires more of a subconscious reaction time as opposed to, you know, a methodical kind of placement. The only time that you have that control is when you activate it. You know, everything else is up to chance, like which one becomes a giant banana and, you know, what part of the track that lands on, that's out of our control. So what I've been saying is basically, a lot of these skills that do require, you know, more technical skill, it would be nice if we were rewarded for using them, you know? So now that might be the case where, you know, a banana accuracy hit, which normally counts for 25 bonus points, right? If that's done through a Banana Barrel now, suddenly it's going to be greater than 25. We don't know. That will be up to the data miners to figure that out as soon as they can. But the potential is great for some of these things, but I do want to caution folks into, you know, just how much this is going to balance the game out, because I went through the list of the bonus points for these various special skills, and they're all pretty much, with the exception of like the ones that can destroy a blooper or a spiny shell, you know, they're all right at that 25 base bonus point threshold. And if we compare the action count that's being generated from, like, let's just say a fire flower compared to that of Coinbox, then the current fire flower hit or accuracy is 25, but a Coinbox can get, you know, 20 more actions basically. So what's composed in those 20 additional actions? Well, you have 45 combo points per action, you know, with your top shelf glider for each and every one of those. And you also have the bonus points boost from your entire driver, cart, and glider setup. So that's, I mean, we're talking magnitudes of scoring difference. It would require a seismic shift from their framework. I mean, these things would have to have like 250 points to even be close to balancing out what a Coinbox is. So for folks who are invested into Coinbox and might be worried like, hey, might it not be the best anymore? It will be the best. You know, Nintendo knows that that's kind of like its cash crop. They know that the players like using it. Although, I mean, it can be grindy, you know, from the players that do it tour in and tour out for ACR, like you can always get the better run. I always hear you folks mentioning that, and I can sympathize with that greatly. But, you know, just to see some of these items, at least narrow the gap is how I would describe it. You know, that's what we'll see. And I do have some concerns with, you know, things like Bowser Shell, which is the best of the rest. Bowser Shell is real close to Triple Banana even, you know, for that number 5 slot. A lot of folks can, you know, fish for that in 7th place. And, you know, it can be better than a coin frenzy by far. and that's going to be increased. That's a 25 bonus points accuracy. So if that
Dash
gets
ring too.
kind of a
I think
boost-
dash ring is just as strong too.
Yeah,
Especially the
dash ring,
plus version,
exactly.
that's
I
like
mean-
5 things.
Yeah.
Aviator, baby, let's go.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to see some of this. Because we've been asking. I even talked about this a little bit on the rundown. Is that I expected us to see buffs of skills instead of nerfing the coin box and nerfing the great skills, because it makes sense to, you don't want to take something that's great and make it less. You want to
absolutely
boost up something that's not great. So
We'll still use it.
I mentioned that, which I think is a great idea. And I think that's honestly, it should something that the game should have introduced a year ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Trying to think, anyone who hadn't talked in a while, FrenzyFans, Gal, Guy, I mean, is there another unpopular opinion about this?
I think we're good, other than I guess I can publicly make it known that I hate Banana Barrel. It's like when Kevin's like, you have to have good technical skill. I'm like, yep, that's why I hate it. It becomes like a death zone.
Yeah.
Nice. So Kevin, did we ever get into daily selects? Are we good there?
I have something
we
to
got
mention.
real kclose.
Oh, hold on.
Let's do it.
KnightRoso, go ahead. Real quick.
One thing that I'm kind of terrified about the daily selects is them combining the premiums with the base. Because, like, especially for the normals, you have the trifecta, Baby Luigi, Pipe Buggy, Prom, and Parafoil. Those used to be in the premiums. And then they used to be premium price. It's a good price, but they're still in their sections. So I have so as soon as level 8 hits, I'm taking Baby, assuming they're still in their premium section.
Well, I don't know if
I would hold off on that.
Big assumption here,
Yes, I would hold off on that.
Yeah, well,
right?
I
I
think
know we're
it's just,
assuming that that's going to be the case. Go
I
ahead.
don't know
just
if
say-
they're their own category anymore.
yeah, I think we need to, the default should be forget everything you know about daily selects. That's the
Well, I
safest
think
way.
with the high ends is the only thing that's going to change. The commons,
one high end.
the commons are the same. The supers are the same.
But they might not even have those premium groups, is what I mean. The rates might change.
The thing is,
Baby
like,
Luigi might become
the
normal.
whole premium groups thing. Yes, they were once a premium price, but we made that up. That they were premium. That's like, is there proof that they were? It's
in
like
their own
just something.
slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was definitely data mined that they have their own appearance rates.
So
And
what I'm
it was
saying, I'm scared of.
9,000
Okay.
coins versus 3,000 coins for like a super
No,
driver.
No, I mean,
that was what it used to be. Yeah.
I will
don't
say in
know.
the past.
Sammy, I think what Sammy's saying is it has
Yeah.
been data mined that
Yeah.
that they do have their own slots, and I believe
But
that is correct.
some people, everyone the past few weeks have been like, okay, I'm going to max the Holy Trinity. But then there's been a new school of thought of like, no, because the rates are actually so low for the premium normals that normal gliders actually appear way more, and you could do this or that. We don't even know how many tickets it's going to take, but I still think they could reallocate all the groups. Baby Luigi, like, don't do it on day one until we know that he has his own group.
Yeah, I'm not
Otherwise,
gonna
I
do
would
it
just
till
to
then.
anyone, like,
Yeah.
and
The
then
thing
how-
with the commons is like you will need to max them anyway. So if you're holding on to 100, 200 tickets, pull on that 100 pipe, and if a
Yeah.
couple are, or maybe it will probably take, it's 20 tickets to take it from 6 to 7. So let's
least
say it will
30,
take, it will at
25,
at
yeah.
least 30.
Yeah,
So
least
maybe
30.
you can take 1, 2, 3. Well, I can take probably two or three drivers. I will just do the boomerang guys and Morton because I don't care about
Yeah.
the rest will go up anyway. There's too much to
supers-
do.
There's going to be way more.
Oh.
There probably could be the super drivers could be really packed out with all the
Also,
bros and
wait.
Monty and everybody. So
Wait, so we could see new supers being added into the
That's what I'm
daily
saying.
selects because they
that's what I'm
are
saying.
like
And they can be
added
Yeah.
different
for
rates.
2021. So the
Yeah,
Blue
that's what I'm
Royale
saying.
and the,
There could
yeah.
be it could be new groups of supers. There could be
Oh,
the
but those
premium
are
high end. I
level
mean,
2 or
Pauline
3.
could become a regular high end, and Cat Peach is a premium. It just could
Yeah,
all change.
okay,
We
makes
don't know.
yeah, it makes
That's what we're
sense.
saying. Yeah. Kevin, you want to take us away from here on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything everyone said to this point. The normals are going to change the least. The groups may be redistributed versus a base normal and a premium normal. So obviously, do not make a hasty decision into that until we know exactly the mechanics of the shop. But to Anke's point about the supers, there is a huge influx coming. not just with the drivers with Monty Mole and you know, the Hammer
right.
Bros, Birdo, but also we look at the gliders, the blue flower glider, the eggshell glider. I mean,
Jumping Mario.
be a really sweet spot for free-to-play players was that super glider slot. Potentially now that could be a nightmare.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Oh,
It could be no
gosh.
more of those
Oh, my
four.
brain.
The holy
what if-
quartet.
What if the daily selects follow suit of the tier shop, where if you have an item that's already maxed out in the tier shop, it comes up as blank.
No, that would
Well, that
be
would suck.
What if
so
in the
Right.
daily
no.
selects,
That's
it's now
better
No,
not
if it's
happen.
maxed out, it should say ticket. No, no, no. No
Because
buttons.
then for the supers, you would have whales eventually getting literally nothing.
But you
and
know,
that's-
if like we said, like maybe like DK Junior
don't
is
get
like the
anything from the
new
tier shop.
premium high end, I wouldn't mind take him to 8. That would be awesome. I would rather take him to 8 than a Pauline if he would be a. But Cat Pete's, hell no.
I think
She
one
will
of
never be
the
level 8.
one of the data points we're going to want to know as fast as possible, and they're going to try to find is that slight chance of high-end ticket appearing in your
Yeah.
daily select. Because if
1%,
and then what is the
0.1.
pricing going to be? Is that going to be a normal price, or
Better
is
be.
15,000 just kind of like, you know, what we need to assume?
No.
Or are the tier shop ones actually going to be lowered from 15 to 12? You never know. They
Oh, that would
lowered,
make me
remember
happy.
they lowered Pauline from 30K to 15K
Right.
because we all thought it was too much. We've always thought the tier
I
shop ones were a
hope
little too
everyone
much.
got their money back who paid 30K for Pauline or
how
the
many
cloud
Probably
balloons
not.
25K. I would write a ticket. I'll be like, give me my coins back.
But everyone's gonna be posting their shop every day. It's gonna be an insane amount of data to collect to see that high end rate. And if it's slight chance, you know, it's not gonna be once a tour. But as Anke mentioned earlier, 40 whatever thousand coins for the tier shop guaranteed every week. We're not even gonna be able to buy those.
That's
So-
80K per tour. We get 20K, so you're already too you
Yeah.
won't. There's no point to get
And we're not
those.
getting
It's a
coins and
way.
pipes
It's a
anymore.
waste of coins to get those. It really is.
And we don't know if the 10 high end tickets they're giving us are 30 total driver cart and
They
glider,
better be.
I hope so, but I
Or-
don't think so.
or 10. And if they're
10
gonna
be- yeah.
And if they're going to start throwing high-end tickets in other areas too, I mean, Firestorm had a great point. Why not just throw a set of high-end tickets in first place for Ranked Cup?
Mhm.
Add
I
it,
hope
add it
so.
to the stack of stuff. I mean, they could throw
Yeah.
them anywhere. You know, if there's battle mode, we could be earning them there too. I think that our question of how are they going to give us more tickets, I think they're going to be answering. it.
Well, maybe Gold Pass or some other like. In the end, they want to make money, and the way they set up the game now for Wills, it will be nice to have that access to all of those tickets right away. But to max out a shop with all these new items, these new supers, these new high ends added, like, sure, I think a lot of people like who spend a lot of money will have a lot of these items at 7, but also a lot won't.
Yeah.
So it will be really interesting to see how it all pans out, and then you can have stuff at 7. But if you never grinded player rank in the past, what was it, 1.5 year, and you're still at level 150, while others are already at 220, then you are like 3 months behind. So I don't know. It will be I might just take a couple of days off the game and then in the weekend be like, okay, tell me what you guys know.
Wow.
Not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
guys
like
think
my.
about?
Yeah.
Go for it, KnightRoso.
That's kind of my, like, if I'm a, oh my gosh, a popular
Mhm.
category to max out is the base super riders. Wait, a popular category to
Yeah.
max out is the base super gliders because there's only 4, I
Yes.
think.
Mhm.
And so what
Yeah, 4, 5.
I'm scared of is if they combine that with the premium, so now you have to max out 9. Plus, if they add, you know, eggshell and stuff. So that's
Yeah, I went on a rant
my
about
main fear is combining them.
Yeah.
especially when
I
we look
think-
at a glider like the Waluigi wing, which is a current super premium glider, and the value on that is essentially 0. So to have that in that expensive category, which is currently quick to max out, what I'm curious about when all of the data mining comes out with the daily selects is my immediate analysis is going to be, okay, we know that, well, we don't know yet, but we'll know very shortly after the new tour drops. Will these prices be consistent? Will it be 12K for a driver ticket in the daily selects and 15K for the driver ticket in the tier shop? If that holds true, then how long would it take to max out one of these slots, like say the base super gliders, and then balance that out against the additional 3K that we'd be spending in the tier shop to say, okay, what's the break-even point then, where you're spending on all these gliders? When is the point in time in the future? Will it be in 1 month or will it be in 3 months where we can have that slot maxed out, and then we can determine, okay, how worthwhile is it for me to proceed forward with the daily selects as opposed to just focusing on the tier shop? Because there's a lot of folks out there who are probably, mostly free to play, gold pass only, who are thinking like, boy, I don't have a lot of tickets to work with. These things aren't at high levels particularly, and I just want the most efficient situation for my own gameplay, my own account.
I know this is the purpose of the conversation, is talking about daily selects, but everybody's always trying to figure, I think right now we're trying to figure out how do we get rid of things so that way we can get tickets. That's really what it comes down to. And we can't, not for a long time, can we? But I think the game is starting to go in a direction where that is not the only place that we can find tickets. And so we need to not always just look at, that's honestly, that's one of the first things I do every morning. I open the game, I open my shop, I go and see what my daily selects looks like. I'm always disappointed. That's just, and then repeat every day. But there's a lot of other places that we're going to be able to get tickets. Right now, there's a lot of places we can get tickets, and I think it's going to be more than that from here on forward. So we just have to, we want it to happen, and I think it'd be great to happen. But I think once you go through the effort of making it happen, it will still not, something will change. It still won't be as often as you want. So I think we just need to kind of change our mindset about what the daily selects is anymore.
Yeah, exactly, Tabor. And we need to look at that fine print on the first news item of the tour and make sure that a ticket even still appears when we max the slot, because that could be completely done with too. We could be looking back in a year and saying, remember when we used to max our daily selects to get tickets? Remember when our shops were shut down? And remember how horrible that whole thing was? It was fun to check, but man, that was horrible. And it might be a thing of the past. You never know, because
we've been talking about this a lot, to the point where we did, you want to show them it? I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I made a little daily selects max categories calculator. Where based on what the whatever the common level and super level, like to go from level 7 to level 8 is going to be, and takes it down in like all of the the different categories. It's kind of hard to see
all the
here.
different
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So
So you got your 3 premium normals, how many coins that's going to be, base common, like all the way down to getting every single category maxed out, and then also look at how many pipes that you would have to pull in order to be able to do that, and the associated rubies. And after doing it, and we've obviously had the info drop where I'm under the impression that this isn't even going to be worth anything, because I don't think that it's going to be in the mechanics of the game anymore to max out categories to be able to get tickets. Even if it is still included, it's an absurd amount of resources that you have to dump into it to begin with, just to open up the opportunity to spend more money on the high-end tickets. So, which
we're getting anyways.
Right. Yeah. So the thing is it better to spend the money on the more common ways that they're going to produce the tickets, either in the tier shop or this new level of the daily selects? Because if it's literally like 1.7 to 2 million coins to max out everything in the daily selects, like currently it's like 1.2.
You'll be spending all your resources to max things out. Not
1,400 pipes, which is over 6,000 rubies, like equivalent to be able to do this. Like, spend that money on
Mii suits,
on the tickets that are available to you, and I'm not going to be a huge proponent of telling people how to max things out, even if that's still a mechanic of the game, and we don't know yet.
Well, I always remind people about Carlos's day 1 stream on level 7. He pulled, was it 2,000 rubies, Anke? But
more,
maybe like 2 or 3.
It was like a couple thought, hey, I got another 2,000. Let's go.
It was 2,000 or 3,000 rubies. Let's just
say 5. I think yesterday he said 5K.
Well, he did not get a single item to level 7 in those pulls, not even a super.
Yeah.
But
if I remember correctly.
Well, we had
so that was level 7.
We had that nice little special pipe with the dozer and the Gilded King and the Ice Blue Poltergeist, and I think that's where he went ham to get those cards to 7.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he had like a big ticket stash. I think day one he was able to take a lot of items, but then what he did, he put the tickets on like these gold pass exclusive supers, and then he ran out of super Kart tickets or something, and then because he wanted to max his daily selects, but he did take Pauline the 7 and got his first high-end ticket the next day or something. But it was a cool to watch, but it like hurt my brain to be like, why such a rush? We have like, and so that's like a year ago almost to the day then, I guess. So we can expect a level increase every year. At least let's all prepare that next year, March, level 9. And don't be mad when it happens, because it will happen.
Yeah,
putting it out there.
Yeah, when it's my birthday, it will be a new level in Mario Kart.
Yes, I mean, we all know like, oh, Sammy's birthday's coming up. We're all going to be upset.
But my point was just that, like, if you're thinking about doing a lot of pulls next tour so you can start maxing out things, it really takes way more than you think. Because I mean, it's still RNG. You might not get a single peach or a toad or
I mean, for a super,
shell
like
glider or whatever.
6 to 7 is
There's
8
not that many
tickets
supers
now.
in there either.
It's 8 tickets now. So then to level 8, it will probably be 15, 14 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take one super to 8.
Yeah, I think ultimately, you know, we can start talking about daily selects in June or July or something. You know, like that's probably the appropriate time that we should be.
I think we should all just stop talking and just play the game.
Yeah.
You know, because speculating is like
fun of that.
I mean, it's the only time we can speculate though, and it is fun.
For now, it's okay. It's okay, and we see with all happy faces, everyone is excited for this update. Well, maybe not everyone, but you know, it's anticipating, and there's a lot happening. There could be so many changes and so many things. It's not just, oh, we got a new track, let's talk about it. You know, it's way more than that. Like the new track, I don't even know the track. Is it a good one? Like,
well, KnightRoso can talk about it. It's a fan favorite of the Wii generation. But what we saw with Sky Garden is an overhyping of a retro track.
I was about to say, like, everyone was so hyped for it. I never look up the video of like the old tracks. I always want to be surprised in a way.
Nostalgia is very powerful, and Sky Garden was never. Yeah, it had some cool shortcuts, and definitely it was a cool track. But you know, we should not overhype it. But it is fantastic. There's another one. I can't believe it's not. You know, it's all the way at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mushroom bouncing in a cave where you can fall to your death. So be ready for the blue shells and get your super horns ready.
Well, you know what I was happy about with Sky Garden, because we just had like Bowser's Castle and like Waluigi, Wario Shipyard, also dark, and so like, you know, really dark tracks, and really long, and Sky Garden is like uplifting and be like, yay, I don't know, I like it. So I feel like Mushroom Gorge is in that same category of like, you know, happy, I don't know. Happy tracks.
Yeah,
you know?
KnightRoso, wouldn't you agree that's probably the most requested fan favorite Wii track? Maybe that and Toad's Factory. Obviously, Coconut. Besides Coconut Mall,
I don't even know Coconut Mall. I don't know what it is. I'm not looking it up. I want to be surprised when it comes.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I would say probably Coconut Mall's #1, and then Mushroom Gorge. Toad's Factory, definitely.
Is there anything DK related that people want?
We have Summit. We got that.
We got that from Wii.
Daisy Circuit. I'm so excited for that to come eventually. Oh, and I do have to go soon. So Tabor, I wanted to do a 10 pull with you.
Ooh, nice. A pull off.
I'd love to. What have you
which pull? Which pipe?
Have you done anything with pipe 2 yet?
Are you
no, but I got really lucky with the free pipes, so
really
I can get lucky here.
Why is everyone always getting lucky with the free pipes?
Yeah, I did.
It happened to me once.
So are you at 98 out of 100 on pipe 2?
Yes.
Or did you reset?
If you had a high end, you should reset.
I can reset.
I had one high end freebie in the LA tour, and it was this little stupid thing.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, I like that card too. Don't trust.
I mean, for me, obtaining an item without being able to level it up, I'm not a collector. I have like all these holes in my inventory. I only want items if I can level them up. If they will sit at level 1 for a year, then it's useless to me.
Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with trading. Who knows? Totally just joking. All right, Tabor,
Okay.
KnightRoso. Let's get a pull off because I know KnightRoso's got to go. So you guys are both pulling on week 2 pipe, and you're gonna do a 10 pull, and whoever gets the high end. Here we go. Tabor, start us off.
Ready?
Yep.
Did you reset?
Yes, I did. It's at 100.
Okay, smart. Here we go.
Did you reset 4 times?
Ooh.
Gold.
Oh, Tabor.
Tabor, welcome back. It's good to have
But
you.
we did, Tabor, how many rubies do you have? Now no one makes you pull on like every card talk.
No, I pull stupid things all the time. I just
Oh,
don't.
okay.
I just don't broadcast it.
Let's go.
Like right now, I am broadcasting.
Go.
it, though. All right, ready? Here we go.
It's a fake gold and a fake green.
Springtime crane.
Springtime.
Springtime
Wait.
crane.
Oh, that's a
my
nice one.
gosh.
So wait, you could have done a single. Imagine that.
And then reset.
Maybe.
All right.
Hey,
No,
hold it
wasn't- wasn't-
closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
bring
that's
closer.
right.
Yeah, even closer.
Here, I'll
I
turn the
don't,
brightness down.
that doesn't help. Okay, Tabor, a common. Yay, coins. You won't see
Okay.
those in a while.
I
Yeah, you got a
know.
glider too. It just was a.
What are you guys wanting? What are you guys hoping to see?
Anything but the
Yeah.
drivers.
Okay.
Maybe the brooms. The brooms are so awesome, aren't
Oh, the
they?
brooms, yeah.
I've heard so
Yeah.
much hate against these brooms. I
I
haven't
don't
heard
have
so much
one.
hate.
I
against-
never driven with one, but I can only
Wow.
imagine that all the coins fly by.
Are you a
We
broom
got
lover,
supers.
Tabor?
What?
Are you a broom lover?
I am. I mean, there's been so much hate against these long,
Yeah.
skinny brooms.
You started the hate
Crazy.
with the possessive.
No. I hated the.
Whoa! Speaking of.
Your favorite.
You've gotten 2 high ends and like 3 supers.
Holy wow!
I told you my luck
I
was
should have
great.
just let you do this on your own, KnightRoso.
Oh no! Wait, didn't you just get that? Or maybe not.
Wait,
Wow.
so
I
that's
still think Tabor
great
has a fake
pulls. I guess
green.
that's good for your account. That Zoom room and
Nice supers for KnightRoso.
Yes.
we didn't count, so I don't know how
That was
much
the
is
8
I
by
left.
got
glider,
4
right?
supers and 2 high-ends.
Oh,
It's a
Tabor's
really,
pull is-
really. Tabor, you know what that means. You need to do another 10.
Of course you do.
No.
I'll do a single because I only have 7 rubies, but I'll do a single pull.
Wow, 7 rubies, 0 high-end tickets. That's amazing.
All right. I gotta go.
Well,
All right, see you later.
See ya,
Knight.
KnightRoso.
Congrats on your
Hey,
pulls.
Great pulls,
Good
man.
call.
Awesome.
Sammy, I took the Tanuki card up to 6 actually today.
Yeah, that's my jam. I love that card. I'm glad to see some other people joining me. That was one of the only ones I did real quick.
Well,
I mean, I don't
I
usually
have
do them.
two card tickets
Awful.
and 7 glider
Sad.
tickets.
Sorry,
That's
Tabor.
what I have.
Wow.
Sorry, Tabor.
Tabor.
It's all good.
You did so well in the Mark II pipe with us. That was a really good
Okay,
job.
let
All right.
me wait. I want to do a single pull. I don't know why.
It's your only rubies.
I actually haven't done my free pipes yet. Should I do them?
Yeah, let's
Do
do
you want
it,
to do them on
KG.
screen, Kevin?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I have done the free pipes on this one and it was nothing. And it's only like the 5 rubies. Like, what else am I gonna do with it?
All right,
It's
let's,
it could be coins now.
Oh, no way, Kevin!
Are these the first pipes?
It's gonna be
those are
that
your free ones.
pilot card.
Why? Why does everyone
KG.
get the gold pipes? Mine
KG's
is
all
just
sneaky.
Hey,
It's like a
I'm right with
recording.
All right.
Okay, let's go,
I'm not
KG.
either.
Sorry, Anka.
Well,
All right, what
I
are you rooting
gave you
for,
the
Kevin?
luck.
Kevin
You got the-
Poggers. Let's go.
Oh, magic.
That's a
Oh.
great one.
That's really
a really
good.
good
Oh
one.
my goodness.
Wow.
That's really good.
Updated liner, bro.
Nice.
I had that.
insane.
That was my free pipe week 1. I got that in the week 1 free pipe.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Why does everyone get
I might want to reset now.
You
yes,
should.
you should.
Yeah, you
Reset
do.
for
You
sure.
do.
2 in a
That is,
row.
I think that's the best item.
You should reset
Essentially the
5
pipe.
times.
Yeah, because
not
if I
5.
reset again, that would be
5
really
is the
good.
magic number.
These gliders are good.
Well, it's still a pretty new glider, so you know. It,
And KG's got the Camex set, I'm pretty sure.
How many times do I reset FrenzyFans?
5, no 5.
Whatever your favorite number is.
64.
All it does is
Four's
change
been
the
pretty
numerator. It doesn't
64
change the order of
times.
things in the
Wow.
pipe.
Hey, 300 in honor.
Yeah,
of
another
level
level 300.
Yeah, but you have to count them off.
We'll
and
come
like,
back to you in
All
like 2
night.
hours.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Oh, I couldn't. I
Okay.
thought that was gold for a second.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought so
Gee.
I think it
too.
was like a reflection or something. Here we go.
Oh,
Oh.
Nice.
Just
Okay.
a normal card.
Wah, wah, wah.
nice, KG.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
can we
right.
talk about? Can we talk about level 300?
We haven't really, that's what I was going to try to discuss now. I know that 300 specifically was so out of our perspective. I mean, we thought we were going to go up by 50s, even 100 would be out of scope. But 300, in fact, you know, most likely it's not going to open up at no one's going to open it up and be at 300. We're assuming that we're going to be able to earn the XP that we've been grinding this time, similar to how it was before. That's not being guaranteed. But we also don't know how much things will go up. We're assuming things are going to go up at kind of the same speed. But as you remember, as we hit level 100, it started slowing down that next 50. We weren't getting as much XP. We couldn't be even slower, even at 150 or then at 200. Who knows what it might be? But let's talk about level 300. What are your thoughts, guys, just right off the bat?
Happy, just happy. Something to do.
It's definitely, it's definitely a, I don't think anybody was expecting 300. They were expecting 200 or 250 at the most, but yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since I've seen the actual percentage on my screen change. I've always seen the little animation, but then that's it. So it'll be kind of exciting to see that actually, you know, you can improve. And I think it'll be interesting to see how everybody compares on that day one, whenever they log in and everything then goes up to speed to wherever they are. A little bit of comparison game, but I've kind of talked about this early with a little bit of people. You know, the game is not ready for 300 in terms of nobody's going to get there right away. I think people are going to be what Anke said about, you know, 220 to 225, maybe somewhere around there. And that's great. I think that's a great thing to do. They're future proofing the game. They're allowing you to be able to continue to climb as things get released. I just hope that some of the older courses that still have XP for a lot of people, especially the cities. Yep. I'm actually asking for cities to be released a little bit, so that way you can get that player XP and you know, help yourself go up. But in terms of level 300, I mean, I'm pretty excited. So
wow.
Wow.
Did you make that just for this occasion?
Maybe, possibly.
Wow.
I was like, have we talked about level 300 quite yet?
There's your emoji,
No.
Puffton. Get on it.
He was waiting for that. Is it time to talk about level 300?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was hoping we were going to talk about it before I did the pipe polls, because I would have wore this for the pipe polls. But
all right. Well, you know,
well, it probably would have brought you more luck than whatever that poll was.
Yeah.
Trash.
When I was on Kart Talk the first time, I was like, you know, max is max. It could have been a hashtag. Like, no, if it says max, nothing else was. It was wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But now that 300 is here, I'm so happy. Like back then, I was just fearing it because it was like, okay, but then I need to do like all this other stuff to keep up with other people. But now I'm okay with it because I don't want to keep up anymore. I do feel, or I don't feel bad, but there are people who are probably at the stage now. They were saving tickets. They were preparing for like that one top 100, top 1,000, maybe top 10 run. Like, okay, it's coming. And now in the next tours, they're like, okay, there's no way. But, you know, you never know. There's no one who can take anything to level 8 right away. But it's changing up the game. And level 300, I think, because level 200, them people would have been already, well, maybe not a lot of people, but plenty of people would be right at that mark right away. So then we would be waiting for another 2 years. So I think 300 was really smart to give us, like, you know, something else to do in the game, and to something no one can be at that point right away. And probably not, I don't know how many XP we could, you know, if like the benchmark at 150 goes down and 200 goes down, if you need to drain 2 or 3 tracks fully for one level.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I want to see.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm happy that we could see that animation again, and that people will be like, hey, I'm level 200. Wait, what about the rewards? Will it still be 5
It'll
rupees
still be
for every
the
5
same.
levels?
It'll be the same, and tier 80 will be the same 40 rubies it's always been. These are the things they really need to focus on as well.
I have no
maybe not. Maybe not.
I hope not.
Because
I hope
the
so.
whole
That'd be
thing
great.
is being level over 200. I mean, if you calculate that into hours of gameplay, we should be rewarded
5
for that.
rubies for 5 levels.
If someone starts this game today, they won't be level 300 for however long. I mean,
so to put into context too, like going from level 150 to 300, assuming you're taking first place, it'll
Yeah.
give you an extra 3,000 points like
Right.
each cup, right? So like in a ranked tournament, that's an
Yeah.
extra potential 9,000 points if you
Yeah.
go from 150 to 300.
That's
Yeah.
a big advantage.
And-
And,
and I'll-
in an entire ACR, that's 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're
someone is
looking for
level
a place
300.
for extra item tickets or level up tickets, maybe it'll be every 5 levels after 150. I mean, who knows?
Oh,
That would be
please,
awesome. That'd be great.
please get-
That'd
be
oh,
great.
I would grind.
And we are, I'm just saying we are gonna, I think it's gonna be hard to resist that grind even without it. I know we're all saying, oh yeah, we can take our time, but it's gonna be hard to resist.
I'm at
Draining-
135
I
still.
'cause-
already started 2
Okay.
days ago. I already
Yeah.
started.
No,
was like,
I did
need
too.
to do the Sky Garden.
I'm grinding, I'm doing Sky Garden auto mode
I-
right now.
I-
or 50
auto
cc.
mode.
50 cc with camera. You get track points for 50 cc with camera.
Well,
It's the
I
same
just
as
do
auto mode,
200
but-
cc and just, you will win
Sure, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. But I
But,
can't do that while talking to you.
I was like, if I start now and just do 1 track a day, then I'm like
Yeah.
5 levels ahead of everyone else. Woo,
Well, the good thing is it'll gives you an opportunity to be able to score more points for free. Like you're not able to buy your way or
Exactly,
win your
and we
way
like
to
that.
there. So I think-
Another interest also in our ranks, we'll be able to see our opponent's player level, which
this
is,
time,
Oh,
yes.
usually we're just
Oh.
seeing, okay, they're all 70, basically the ones or whatever. And there's not,
Remember the
okay, they
times
have
where we
badges.
didn't see levels? Remember
Yeah,
the
this is great.
times we didn't see anything?
That'll be nice
Wow.
because it'll be a random, it's like the wild card of this whole thing, And I know it's just each race, it could just be several hundred points or a few hundred or 1,000. But it all, those are all factors that add up. Yeah.
So speaking of which,
Yeah.
using the FrenzyFans calculator, just real quick, if you were to assume like a 200 action run
Mhm.
with just like a kind of a nominal 60 bonus points per action, moving from level 150 to 300, and then having your max loadout go from 7 in triple capped now to 8 in triple uncapped, it's a total change of 8,600 points.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean,
Per
again,
race.
yeah, per race.
Yeah.
So that's, if everything's completely maxed out to level 8, you could probably, if you get more than the 200 actions, you can probably anticipate getting more than or around 10,000 more points.
I'm excited to start seeing like the first 70,000 K runs.
I'm just excited to see like who
I
gets
never
the
had
biggest
60.
increase.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
highest score is like 59K. I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll get to 60, but now I'm like, oh, I guess I'll go for 70 then.
Kareem the Dream is one of the several people, at least I know, who has drained every track this whole time watching that
He
animation.
will have to do
And-
a top 10 run.
Well, I just want to see what the highest jump is. I mean, mine was laughable last time. I thought it was going to be higher. I was watching Abdallah, and wasn't this when Abdallah was still? Because I was watching someone who
I
jumped. I
think
think it was
so.
Abdallah.
Yeah,
jumped
I
up
watched
like
that.
17 levels, and I was like, oh
And he
cool,
was
I'm
like,
gonna.
"Whoa, cool."
And then I got like 3. I'm like, what the actual? Like
Well,
I
you
grind way
wanna hear a
harder
fun story?
than this. Yeah.
I wasn't even level 100 yet back then.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was level 150 a year ago. Like I was in a
Well,
race with Lino. I
Danny's still
never
catching up.
grinded for 150, so
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, some people are still catching up. I mean, I
I got to level 150 like a year ago, and then I went for my first top 100 because I had a mindset, okay, I need to get my level 150 first before I can even do that. So
and that's why
I never
that's-
grinded the game, I guess.
and that's why people aren't really going to feel they have to catch up, because I mean, Danny's over here, she's in her little ecosystem with her
Yeah.
player level, and she's got her matchings.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how long it'll take and who will get there first, almost,
I'll just keep
Mm.
with if you have at some point the mindset of let me just try to get 1 level a day or drain
Yeah.
1 track a day, then before you know it. But that's still a dedication of like an hour.
It's
or
so much
2
time.
to
Yeah, we're all
one.
trying to have less time playing, and they give us this,
Right.
That's what. Well, I rather do that. Just nice easy runs to get first place than like focus and try to get
Yeah.
a triple coin box run. It's like night and
Yeah.
day.
I will say a lot of the times when I'm just like casually, like, so my bathroom runs, as we talk about it, like that's how sometimes I play the game. I've been even finding myself checking Discord instead of actually doing the run, because I know I'm not going to get a top run just in these 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not even gonna try it. No, I'm serious.
So you're gonna talk to other people instead? Well, okay.
I'm gonna talk to other people because I know that I can do it while I'm doing something else. Whereas like if I'm grinding, I'm trying to get a top run, I may have the TV on or, you know, do something else with something in the background, but I can't like, you know, do that and, you know, do something else. So in my opinion, like that actually would be kind of fun. I could do it mindlessly is my point. It's like, I don't have to be like captivated and like resetting and just like 2 fingers ready to go. Yeah. So I actually would, I think this would be kind of a fun way. I remember doing it at the pool all the time in the summer when I was grinding back in, what was it, 2020? I think, Sam, you're a big pool grinder too. You're just sitting there relaxing and just doing a race at 200 cc's and you're going up and you're seeing the nice little reward of the sparkling little EXP at the top, and you're moving on and you're doing it again, you're doing it again, doing it again. You feel like you accomplished something while still enjoying your day. So
and working on base points. I mean, I've neglected so many base points just because I've gotten more into the strategic score based grinding. And like I said, like Anke said, year 1 of Market Tour, I was like every day I was focusing on every base point, every track drain, and it's like micro like little goals, and that'll be fun to do again.
Yeah.
Kevin, how are the free-to-play community taking level 300? Are they, I would assume, welcoming it?
Well, that's not something that we've really discussed a lot about. Yeah, everybody's in a different spot. And what I always try to tell people in the free-to-play community is that if you don't have aspirations for doing an all-cup ranking, it really doesn't matter, because this is something that I haven't talked a lot in my content, but we have good confidence that this appears to be the case, is that your player level is accounted for in the matchmaking algorithm for ranked mode. So this was something that I discovered as I was leveling up right around the first anniversary tour. All the cities came back. I was a pandemic player, just like you, Studfit. So I didn't get to play any of these cities. I mean, it was all retros when we first started out. Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I jumped up 13 levels in one tour because all the cities were there, right? I mean, it was probably similar for you.
Yep.
So, and what I noticed is immediately after that, my ranked modes went from, you know, bad to worse, basically. And I remember watching folks on YouTube like Abdallah, and I'm like, wait, how come I'm 10 tiers below him, but my ranked groups always look worse than his week after week after week? And his player level was right around that 120 mark. You know, he went up the 17 levels or whatever, but he didn't do much more grinding after that point. And, you know, I continued forward with my account. It's like, whoa, it's like, you know, these ranked modes are so difficult now. So, you know, when people are at like level 60 or level 90, wherever they're at, I always say, look, if you don't have those aspirations for the All Cup ranking, just play at your pace. You know, if you really want the rubies that we get, you know, the 5 rubies, that's not going to make or break anything. It's kind of like the team rally rubies, you know. So I always recommend, you know, people go into the pipes responsibly so that they don't have to stress out over those, you know, challenge board rubies, the level up rubies, because that's where you can really, you know, take a hit, you know, in terms of the mental health side of things, spending hours upon hours grinding away at something just because you missed your chance at something. And that's always a mindset I like to try to lead people away from.
Yeah. Really good points there. Anyone else on 300? I think the only thing we really haven't covered much is about the bots and some of the minor tweaks that they've made here recently with the new UI. I guess the frame rate per se. I think they fixed the propeller. They fixed you know, being able to kind of scroll. You can kind of, it looks a little bit more smooth actions. I did hear, I guess, sending out coins though might take a little bit longer for whatever.
Is that an Android problem?
It's on my iPhone for me. It takes longer. I will say there's a huge bug Philish and the competitive people found. This is insane. So when you're using a Heart Plus, if it's in the first item slot, it automatically uses both of your items. As you guys know, in multiplayer, competitive, global, Heart is everything. There's a big league tournament going on right now, and Philish and all those people are having to decide if they're going to cancel the whole tournament or not. Wow. Because of Heart being broken. Heart is broken right now, and they'll have to fix that.
I'm stuck in my friend list now. You're right.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten frozen. It just takes like 5 seconds to send each greeting coin. But for a lot of you who don't have the kindness in your heart to even, I actually send them because I am a kind and giving content creator.
I've been working on sending them more often this past week because now I know coins are much more valuable. So I'm trying to get a lot better at it. But it does take time to do it, and to take more time, it kind of stinks. But other tweaks to the game, have we? I mean, I know the big one was that the bots using their item quicker was. I think you said Couch brought this to the attention, right?
Yeah, there was a thing. It got around. It went a little bit viral to the point where one day someone showed the screenshot to Couch of his thing, and he was like, "Yeah, I sent that." But it was just a random support ticket Couch sent in about the coin boxers holding the boxes and not opening up. We've all seen Carlos go for hours with boomerangs, chasing them, and we've done it ourselves. It happened to me. When Couch wrote the support ticket, the thing that made it interesting was they wrote back, and their replies are all over the place, and we don't know what to make of them. But they said it was a bug, and so we were like, do they really know? Are they right that it's a bug, or do they not know what they're talking about? Or is it a translation problem? But it was just a few weeks ago, and now they have said that the chance of them holding them will be decreased. But I mean, they could still hold them and decrease the amount. It'll make it easier for boomboxing if you've ever run into that problem, theoretically.
Theoretically, we'll also get hit a lot more, right?
Yeah, the box.
But they're also not holding onto their item behind them, so when we throw out that red shell, we could have higher likelihood of hitting them too.
That's true. That's true.
Angelita asked a question, following this update, what strategies are people thinking in order to remain competitive? Is the competitive level still, I guess, going to remain that competitive, or now people are going to just kind of enjoy,
I think it's time
masses
for
enjoy the game?
New wave of competitive to flow in. Like how I entered the competitive ACR side at level 7, like, oh, I'll go in. Maybe it's the same now, but I think more people are going to stop competitive, at least until they catch up enough, or like have their player level up enough, or like, I don't know, like I don't have 40 driver tickets waiting to level up all these coin books, but people have, like Carlos's or whoever, have like 40, 50. They can take these coin book drivers up to 8, and then there's no way for other people to even come close to that. And I think with top 100 and top 1000, I don't know how much that will change competitively, and like in rank cups, so people won't be able to take 9 items to 8 for one specific rank cup. So
you might encounter someone with like one level 8 driver in the next few weeks, but you could beat them on the other tracks. It's even, you've seen Carlos, I think Studfit, maybe ER people too. Like, it seems everyone is going in this very conservatively and saying,
yes,
oh, I mean, I'll wait if there's a coin box pipe, great, I'll pull on that, because even the whales now are going more for
we're
pipe
all excited for
upgrades than
those
ticket
now.
upgrades.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a slow process, and I think Angelita was right. Next tour is a great tour for ACR, because there's going to be very few people who, whether they're going to be 2 or 3 people, and the top, that's not going to prevent you from getting top 100 or whatever.
No.
So
yeah, good guys. All right, well, we are now well past our normal time, but I want to make sure that we get everyone to say goodbye, and it's so fun to have everyone on here. I mean, we've had the Tabor in 5 months, and then prior to, I guess, just last episode, a couple episodes ago, Sammy, you were taking a break too, so it's fun to get the band back together, and even get Anke and Kevin Garrett back on too. So what a fun episode. I think, as we kind of wrap up and say goodbye, especially for those who aren't often that often are on here that often, to be able to say goodbye to their fans. Just, I guess, say one piece of advice going into level 8, level 300, whatever it might be. So we'll start with Tabor, because Tabor, you don't get to do this very often. Take as long as you need to, because who knows, this might be the last time we see you on here for a while. So say your goodbye to all the Taborites, and give them a piece of advice going into next tour.
So yeah, I think excuse me. I think there's a rumor out there that Tabor's been dead. I don't know where that came from. Aussie Kart, I don't know why you started that, but I'm not. I'm good to go. I think if there's one piece of advice, it's take it slow. Don't make any hasty decisions, honestly, because I think whatever's available to you day one is going to be available to you for for at least the first week, if not the rest of the first tour. So take it slow. If you're on Discord, if you're following content creators, if you're looking at resources out there, get as much information as you can before you make a decision. Because if you decide I'm going to take something up to level 8 right away, or I'm going to buy this item, or I'm going to buy this suit, or I'm going to do this, then later on you'd be like, whoa, that was a really bad choice. I should have waited. I should have went back and did something else. So, so take it slow. Just enjoy the game for what it is. Play the game, do whatever you need to, but do your research, do your due diligence before you do anything too hasty.
Solid advice. Sammy, what would you say?
Yeah, just be patient and practice multiplayer too. A lot of people still resisting. There's a fun thing about it. It's very old school. It's like, you might have only 2 items or 1, get defensive, work on your lines. It can be fun. I think they're going to keep pushing it. We keep getting more and more multiplayer challenges. I don't know what battle mode will involve whenever it comes, but just, yeah, enjoy it. Find ways to race the game. I mean, G's asked me recently, he was like, man, I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, do what? And he said, just do this content creation and keep up with everything. And, you guys, I don't know how you do it. He's like, what makes you go on? And I said, it's honestly just Mario Kart. It's racing Mario Kart. Yeah. Even if we didn't have this amazing meta, infrastructure that we've all built, like I would just love racing the game just as much, so just have fun with the game and be patient.
Awesome. Kevin Garrett, why don't you give your piece of advice to your fans out there, and definitely check out Kevin's channel, Kevin Garrett, not the singer, but Kevin Garrett, the Mario Kart Tour.
I might have to add Mario Kart into it after the search, but I will say that thank you all for having me on once again. I love you all, the content that you have. This community is just great, and I do hope that everyone out there who has any trepidations about the game, it's been really good this year. I mean, this has been the best start to a year ever. And, whatever questions you may have, like the other said, just be patient, and we're going to discover it together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I love the community. If there's any better example of that, the live stream that Sammy had for his birthday just puts an exclamation on how wonderful the community is out there. And it's great to interact with all of you. So thank you for sharing this opportunity.
And make sure to subscribe, if you're not, to Kevin and FrenzyFans. They're both creeping up on 1,000, and it's absurd that they do not have 1,000 subs yet. I think that, I don't know how all that works, or why certain people find certain videos and whatnot, but if you're not subscribed to them, please do. 1,000 for both would be good very soon.
Yeah, link is in the description. Go ahead and go there as soon as this video is done. That'd be phenomenal. Anke, why don't you say goodbye for a second time on the show?
For a second time, yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me again. And the advice I would give people for the upcoming tour is the thing that I've been telling myself this week is try to remember what made you play the game in the first place. Like before you knew all the strategies, all the scores, all the grinding, just what made you pick up the game and play. And that's like what Sammy just said, just racing Mario and just having fun. And it can get overwhelming with everything we know and all the data and all the levels and what should I level up and this and that. Just try to park it and really go into the new tour with an open mind, and whatever happens, happens, and just keep loving the game. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that with my goodbyes. Just that mentioned in the rundown. Take maybe a day or 2 break. I've been traveling for business this past week, and so I hadn't really been playing the game. Hadn't got my daily coins in a couple days. But I think it was a good rest. One of the things I thought about on the plane ride was like, what do I enjoy about this game? And I think it's just like, those moments where you open it up and I think sometimes I get in like the all cup ranking and I'm like trying to get as many points as possible. I'm rushing and I'm looking at a spreadsheet. All right, check that one off and moved on. I actually am looking forward to the level 300 grind. And like I mentioned, the pool grinding. That's like the mindless grinding that I can do in between things at my house. Like that is not a time for ranked grinding. That's not a time for all cup ranking. That's just a time to relax and just enjoy the game. I mentioned on the rundown, just take a moment to have like a little mental retreat. Think about what you enjoy the most about this game. Think about which characters you enjoy the most about. Are they Donkey Kong characters? Invest in those. You know, are they the Gilded King? Invest in that. You know, or is it the lightning, the green lightning? Invest in that. Whatever it might be, just, you know, don't worry about anyone else. Do what brings you joy, and I don't think you can go wrong with that strategy. That's my goodbye. FrenzyFans, why don't you give your advice and then send us off?
Yeah, so I guess my advice would be to remember to enjoy the journey, kind of like what you guys are all saying. But I think in life in general, Mario Kart or regular life, like with Mario Kart, the thing that's just happened, right, is the goalposts have officially moved. Like we now have these benchmarks that we are far behind, but we're all in the exact same boat. It happened to all of us. And so there's a concept like it's the gap or the gain. So get out of the habit of comparing where you're at, or I guess valuing the game based off of like how far behind you are, and just realize how far you've come and measure like your happiness and your enjoyment with the game about how far you've progressed versus how much further you have to go.
FrenzyFans guy, do you mind if I piggyback off of what FrenzyFans gal just said?
Please
Yeah,
do.
I kind of mentioned it earlier, you know, thinking about it like a triathlon. You know, we were running the race, then we're swimming, then we're biking. Don't focus too much on the run you just finished. Enjoy the race, enjoy being on the bike, enjoy swimming. Like we're in a new chapter, enjoy the new chapter. Let's leave the past in the past. Sorry about that. I just wanted to throw that in because you bring up a great point.
Yeah, no, it's good. So I think my advice would be, and we've actually had friends that don't play the game that have asked us this question that I think is a really good, like, introspective question, is how do you win the game, or how do you beat the game? And as someone that's played Mario Kart for 2 years, it's really hard to describe that to someone that's never downloaded the game. Like, how do you win, or how do you beat Mario Kart Tour? It's not one that can be beat based on like how the game is structured. However, you can make your own goals in the game, whether they're big or small, whether it's collecting stuff, whether it's doing well in multiplayer, whether it's doing well in ranked or ACR. And like, you can, I think it's good at a time like right now where so many things are going to be changing to really just kind of like give pause and ask yourself, like, well, what is, like, what makes me happy about this game? And like what FrenzyFangirl was saying, like, don't worry about how, you know, so many more things are occurring now that's going to make us feel behind. It's just an opportunity for growth if you choose to go down that path. And if not, that's perfectly fine too. So, and with that, thanks everyone for joining us. And until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.